time?
Time is the direction of entropy. Unironically, welcome to Yes and Dragons, where we talk about time, but not anymore, because that's the past. Today,
What is the past?
the past is what happened before now. It's in all directions at the same time. The time doesn't have.
I hear
time
someone
is-
having
time
a
is
debate in the
literally
background.
Hello.
Stop.
Hello.
There's a
Ask
reason
everyone.
we don't put you on the mic, right? We have things to do.
How is everybody this evening? I'm glad that we are all having a good time.
Heard it.
Oh man, these are I have the wrong lights on for sure. No wait, do I? It's fine. Welcome to us. We are now and here. Today there are this many, which is different than other days. So now meet us. Starting here.
My name is Esther Ingesarkel, and I played Nedezhda Irensu, sorceress bureaucrat.
Parker Thompson. I play Sam Seraph, rapidly diminishing net worth.
I'm Carissa, and I play Shibble, friend of fungi.
Aww.
Everything, to be fair.
Only those
Friend
who
of
have,
all.
who have harmed the bro code
Yeah.
deserve to be called not a friend of Shibble. So, thank you all for joining us.
The phrase "friend of Shibble."
Friend of Shibble, yeah, immediately.
Yeah.
It carries a weight. There's a weight to it.
It feels like friend of Dorothy, like
Yeah. It's
Oh,
definitely
is he a friend of Shibble?
Yeah.
Like,
is he?
Everyone is a friend until proven otherwise.
I love this. This is
Yeah.
big, good energy for me personally, because that is very much how I feel as a person. Last time we were here, I guess I should say, Libby is out today. And if you're watching, hello. I'm sure you will be watching at some point for certain. But hello. I hope you're good.
She says the video looks good.
The video looks good. Hell yeah. Excellent. Glad to hear it.
now we need to mumble to mess up her subtitling. Wow, we are already.
we are in a mood.
Do you have a Chicago fact for us, Jaime?
Hey, I do have a Chicago fact for us. Today's Chicago fact comes to us from Esther, and it is the following: the material or dye, I guess you could call it, that is put into the river, that dyes the river green on St. Patrick's Day, is the same material or substance that is used to detect, would you say, clogs in
Clogs and
plumbing?
pipes by plumbers.
So I feel like there is a non-cynical reading of this that says that that the St. Patrick's Day river greening is the verdanting of the river, the great greening, is in some way, at least in its origin, at some point, advertising for a plumber or plumbing in general. I think because, like, if you think about, like, the river it's flowing, right, like it flows backwards so that we don't carry all that stuff into the we reverse the course of a river to make sure that plumbing doesn't get into the lake.
But if you think about it, it's not a good advertisement because it's like something
that's
went
true.
real wrong with your plumbing, and now it's like
That is
It
true.
is actually done by the Plumbers Union. So
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Thank you, Plumbers Union. I
Yeah.
don't think you need advertisement for a plumber.
And
I
please
think
don't,
you know when
please
you need
don't
one.
kill us, Plumbers Union. I
That's a good
assume you're
point.
all in the mob.
That is honestly such a good point that you don't really need advertising. I guess you need advertising to distinguish between specific plumbers, but less so like when you need a plumber, you know you need a plumber.
Well, there's
it's not
like
really a
these
call.
weird like advertisements for industries, like advertisements for milk as a concept.
Oh yeah, or like the American Cheese Council.
Yeah.
Like cheese. And you're like, wait, but that covers such a wide range of things, not to mention the things that are like kind of on the edges of that, like mozzarella or ricotta.
You consider mozzarella? I don't want to derail us, but mozzarella
Well,
is on
think
the
about
edge.
From what?
No, I'm not. It's literally bait. That was me baiting us, and I'm gonna pretend to be noble and turn away from this
All the
subject that
Italians
I
are going
have.
to get so mad.
I made ricotta the other day. It was so good. It was so good. it like really like it really just made fucking the meal. It was great. Anyway, so the river gets green because the plumbers use this stuff that is apparently orange, or it turns orange where there's clogs, I think.
No.
That's what this
I got
article
as
says.
far as
That's
what
what this
I
article
said to
said.
you, and I got no farther. Last we left off.
Last we left off, last session we did we opened with a fair amount of downtime, moved from that into what we covered there was Shibble spent some time looking at the history of Fungrel, and found out that a lot of those records had been like altered in some way, or like were like there weren't a lot of them.
Starlight.
Yeah. There was a lot of nothing, insofar as there was like very little at all. And like one of the weirder parts was like a conversation about Jenny, who is sort of a Vescarre legend of a sort.
Folk hero?
Yeah, folk hero maybe. Think like Rosie the Riveter maybe, or like something like that. Jenny made the call, is the saying, and somehow it's sort of like obfuscated from any conversation that Jenny is Fungrel. Who knew? They just don't talk about it. So this appeared to be deliberate, more or less. And then Shibble had a conversation with Azure, who explained that Azure, by the way, a small blue flame / mushroom that dances, explained that Fungrels fled Vescarre because they had no other choice. That they took refuge around the Stormspire, and she explained a little bit about how their sort of life cycle works, and they can kind of like, I mean, for emphasis, I allowed this to happen on a very fast scale. But if I allow this, I mean, I chose to. It basically, they can sort of like de-age or age themselves, become more or less like mature in different points in their biological cycle, I guess. And to the point that they can recede to just mycelium. There was a little thing about a note that you remember, or that you had sort of interacted with Fungrel, even if you hadn't recalled it. I don't know if you caught this, but I picked it out to be like, this is a little note that happened, that you have had some interaction with Fungrel, and some of that you did sort of talk about was that was as in the form of Azure 3, the surveillance spirit. And we learned that Azure was many and then became one, etc. Before or after that.
Because we know that they are all of the different, like Azure 1, Azure 2.
There's a bunch of them,
There
yeah.
are multiple ones that are all this one Azure.
Sort of. That was the implication, was that like a sense of identity across like different iterations for Fungrel might be a little different than for non-Fungrel. That like
Moving in and out of a hive mind of some kind.
exactly, yeah. That's the best way to describe it, probably. A hive mind, which you guys got to sort of observe a little bit later, but we'll get there in a sec. You guys, Cordelia did some digging into like her concerns about the soul print and whether or not it could be used to replace her. And in the previous session, there was a small conversation about whether or not she should attend a meeting with her family. There was a phone call or like a broadcast from her father that called the family meeting early. And
as like all hands.
It was an all
rather than
hands,
just
yeah.
Mandatory.
Mandatory. Everybody must show up, and it must be now. And then Sam found a really nice apartment in the old quarter. And you guys took up residence in this place.
I also bought a car.
Yeah, oh, that's right. You got a car. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, you got
Basically a Cadillac. Did we decide canonically what the brand of this car, or what the make of this car was called?
not the make, but the brand is Edgewise.
But yeah, we should at some point come up with what.
Yeah,
actual.
If you come up with a name,
Okay, I'll think so.
yeah.
But yeah, basically like a ridiculous giant Cadillac car.
Yeah, an absolutely, truly ludicrously large Cadillac car, with what did we? There were specifics, that are not in my notes. But yeah, then
With a very cloaked map system.
oh yeah,
Right.
that's yes.
Yeah.
The
The GPS is off by a specific amount in a specific direction
Yes.
so that it cloaks where I am. And then you have to just do the mental work of like, all right, it says that it's 3 miles north of here, but
you're constantly triangulating your own location away from a listed location.
yes.
And the place you got was close to where Imogen used to live. Not directly next to or anything, but like close to it. And then I think Nedezhda followed up on some contacts that were tied to her drug and church network, which it sounds sexier
church.
than it is.
Religion, comma, drugs.
Religion, yeah, exactly. That's how it's organized in the index. In my notes index, it's religion, comma, drugs. No, you guys ended up going to to the lighthouse. And while you're there, you cross paths. You parked directly behind the Hierophant Constantine, a notorious vexen with drug comma church ties. Who
Mob boss, essentially.
a mob boss. I mean, not a mob boss, but he's a mob boss. And whose personal partner, imagine if a romantic
Girl
association.
Friday.
Yeah, like a romantic situation that's more
His
business oriented.
situationship.
Exactly. Yes. It was also there, and I want to make this part very clear. This is somebody who does not live in Vescarre.
They normally live in Vex, right?
They normally live in Vex, which is why their car was a gas-powered car. Not why, but it's part of why. But this is somebody who was so exorbitantly wealthy that they brought their own gas-powered, non-magical vehicle to. It implies that that the transformations are non-magical transformations in some way.
It's a
You
transformer.
did make transformer noises
I did.
when we went boat mode.
Yeah. Yep. So after that, Nedezhda ended up hanging out with Katerina, the Hierophant's associate, is how I have it marked in my notes. And Katerina knew a little bit about Nedezhda and a little bit about the situation that was going on, a little more than maybe a casual socialite from another country might. Perhaps indicating some awareness and familiarity that exceeds what might be expected from a spy network or something. And Katerina found Nedezhda absolutely charming and just delightful and like very sincere and real, and was like, let's hang out later, basically, and gave her a little card to meet up with her at midnight. And then you guys stole a car because there was a helicopter crash and there was something happening in the Iron Ward. Then you guys, the lighthouse is like, gate crash is right. The lighthouse where gate crash happens is right on the fucking border of the Iron Ward and the Lily District. And
It was not just any car.
it was not just any car. It was the behemoth tank, gas-powered, gas-guzzling behemoth tank owned by Hierophant Constantine, who... What was that? You guys you set a car...
Yeah, I crashed a car
yeah.
into the wall of the club in order to create a distraction.
That was honestly totally clutch. Pun
And
intended.
then we did something else too. I feel like Libby did something distracting at the same time.
Yeah, so Libby was like up in the crow's nest of the lighthouse.
Libby
remember.
had gone, well,
Cordelia. not Libby.
Cordelia had gone invisible and managed to get into
Yeah,
the
the
dump
light-
car
yeah.
as we all created a distraction. And we all headed out towards the not so friendly Iron Giant, I
I
guess.
like that I had a car that if it was in the real world, someone could derisively call it a boat car. But then we got a literal boat car.
So yeah, you got in like a quadruple Cadillac Escalade,
Yeah.
and drove it into the effectively like nuclear waste zone, like radiation zone of the magical nuclear radiation zone of the Iron Ward, where a collecting bipedal rust golem was lumbering in the direction of the Stormspire, screaming. Meanwhile, your little friend was screaming. There was a couple little moments of communication about this. Azure was terrified, and you guys jumped out of the car. Oh wait, we forgot the part where you guys drove the car off a cliff, landed it directly in front of Nedezhda, and then Nedezhda got in the car, and then you guys took off across the. And then you
I
guys.
believe we drove it off a cliff next to the tunnel that went from the top of the cliff to the bottom of the cliff.
Yes. Yep. And you arrived at where you approached the golem. This thing was like 30 feet tall. It was so big, and it didn't even have like a body to speak of per se. It was just sort of like collecting loose parts of like.
And it was made of like
scrap
hundreds of
iron.
souls.
It was so what Azure told you was that this thing was more or less a single hive mind of undead fungal, an undead hive mind of fungal. It was remembering its last, like what it was doing when it died, and it was trying to redo that. It was trying to achieve the goal that it had set forth for itself in that moment when it died. And told you that basically, I don't think she really told you, but you guys sort of worked out that like if you could make it remember that it had chosen to stay and sacrifice itself, that might prevent it from tearing through the city.
And we identified one specific in consciousness. And then we basically did the thing with a ghost where you clear up their unfinished business and they get like fly off to heaven.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I think we did our signature move and stressed it to death with empathy.
Yeah.
That's
Just hugged it to death.
That is honestly, can I just say that one of my favorite things in Daggerheart is the ability to like take a given combat and find a different way to solve it other than direct violence. And literally, like I made the stress points of that creature equivalent to HP, but for like therapy. So like max therapy, it had a breakthrough.
Well, and it's like at this point, you know that if you want us to fight something, you have to make us really hate it. Because it's even the tiniest bit sympathetic, we'll find a way to not hate it.
Yep. So you guys did therapy. Shibble hugged it. And then it did have a breakthrough. It either transpired. We call it not transpired.
Transcended?
No, that too. That'll work. That's not what I was thinking, but that'll work. It transcended, and then you guys went to investigate the helicopter crash. We're not able to find any specific remains.
I don't remember. Did it just kind of fall apart, or like what?
There were 2 helicopters.
No, I mean the golem.
Oh yeah, it rained down on you guys. Like the individual pieces just sort of started to fall out of the sky one at a time, and then like as it sort of came to terms with the fact that it sacrificed itself, it disappeared, dissipated into the ether. This was a very positive moment for Azure, who was terrified up to this point and declared that she had found the right people, that she was certain of it now, and that then you guys went to find out what happened with the helicopters, which you discovered there were no bodies to be found. They were think like a chemical fire and a Bunsen burner is kind of like what the scene was, and you couldn't get too close, but you couldn't see what was happening with it too well, but you did determine that whoever it was, one of those was Errol's helicopter, and you didn't know who the second one was, but that they were crossing the Iron Ward and they shouldn't have been, and it was likely because they needed to get there fast. Gotta go fast. And then you found a button on the mecha car that turned it into a boat, and you drove the mecha car to the river. And you did the turning it into a boat thing?
I believe Shibble barely made the roll to turn it into a boat so we didn't all die.
Yeah, yep. And then you sail off into the party sunset. Crossing the river. And I guess one little detail that I didn't mention yet is that when this creature appeared in the Iron Ward, it was immediately concomitant with a very powerful earthquake.
Right.
But you guys were addressing the creature, and
But like 4 things happened all at the same time. So
yeah, a whole bunch of things happened at once. The helicopters crashed, the earthquake happened, and then this
explosions in
creature.
the Prometheum.
Yeah, explosions in the Prometheum. The explosions in High Arcadia in general, and now it is. You guys are on a boat. And where are you going?
I think we're going to Arcadia. Arcadia is the plan.
You guys are going directly to High Arcadia. So there is we established this earlier. There is a weird, like, hidden path to get into High Arcadia through the cliffs. High Arcadia is literally like on a massive, like, huge cliff front on the riverside, and the alternative paths here are to go through New Harbor, or to go all the way up the river to around where the Stormspire is, and then go east into Low Lake District.
Map.
I know I got to do that. Boat button. So yeah, we could draw it out here.
We did want to go to the Stormspire. That's where the Azure, the fungal, wanted to go. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Azure does want to go to the Stormspire.
I feel like the explosions in Arcadia are maybe more pressing.
more, yeah.
But then again, the explosions are in Arcadia are maybe more with the player who isn't here right now.
Fair.
I will be, for the time being, playing Cordelia. I'm not
Hello,
gonna do.
best friend. Are you worried that everyone in your family is dead?
I'm hopeful for it.
That is badass.
Who among us thinks Cordelia is anything but badass? Let's do.
Cordelia,
I'm gonna draw a.
Have you technically been disinherited? Or if everyone in your family dies, do you get all their stuff?
I don't think Cordelia knows the answer. Actually, I sincerely don't. I think that there's more to it maybe than even Cordelia might know. So I think that what Cordelia will say to that is likely disinherited, but who knows what anybody has up their sleeve at this point.
All right. Do we want to find out if all the Freysts are dead except for that one? Or do we want to go to the Stormspire?
I think we should go to Arcadia, but
All right. You as well? And the dancing mushroom?
Azure wants to go to the Spire, right?
Azure
keeps telling me.
Azure
to go to the
keeps
Spire.
telling you to go to the Spire. I don't think that Azure's insisting that it happens immediately.
Okay.
But she is repeating that it is the reason that she needs your help.
Okay.
All right.
well, there's also the question of if we go to the Spire, are we trying to go under the Spire? Because that's another thing.
Right, let's go to High Arcadia then. Captain?
Ahoy!
Aye.
We'll sail ahead, me hearties.
All right, I guess we're
So
going
here I drew a little map for us.
New Harbor, Ironwood, Ocean. Thank you.
Okay. And where are we on that?
So I'm gonna put the this is not to scale. Put the Stormspire on here. And so you guys are currently about
Okay.
Well, New Arcadia is on like a really high cliff, right?
Yeah, so this is cliffs. Oh, I forgot to.
So, like, is that kind of somewhat inaccessible from where we are on the river?
So
or-
yes, but we did establish previously that there is a cliff system. Was this? I think we said this too. A cliff system that.
I think we had a
I'm sorry,
car
a
that
cave
just
system.
drove vertically up a cliff, if I remember correctly.
No. You guys had there was like an elevator shaft from like a long time ago that you guys cajoled into working again. You kind of insulted it into working again. And
That sounds like us.
It does. And you were able to get from the river to a higher level, but not into like higher Arcadia.
What if the fancy physics are at play, so we have to go down to go up, so we have to sink the boat car, and then we'll end up at the top of the cliff?
No. I want to be more cooperative with you, I do.
Also, like, I just got this boat car. I don't want to wreck it yet.
You do not have it, the Hierophant has it. I am really trying to play along. I am trying to be part of a team, but
We
my
appreciate
god. You people, my Vexen god, you people do not make this easy. Alright.
It's out here for you guys.
Yeah. Here's a little yellow thing. We can represent our car boat, our duck boat.
Duck boat.
Yeah, because.
Alright.
What is this thing?
That's the Storm Spire.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So we are on the
We're
coast,
here.
just off the low light
We
district.
want to go.
You're just north of the Iron Ward. Yeah. So
I guess we go into New Harbor and cross there, huh?
Okay.
Yes? Yes?
Well, I think we should take the river as far as we can.
Okay.
We can go.
I'm gonna
so if you're going to, I mean, if you're trying to get to the drivable road versus being on the river, you're gonna want to cross into New Harbor.
But like maybe on the edge of New Harbor, and
I'm gonna
There
roll a
are-
D20,
there are
and if I hit a
ports
20, you
there,
have to
or
tell me
docks
that
there.
sinking the boat is the right call. I hit a 20. Sinking the boat is the right call.
Of course.
Wait, when did I sign up for this? I don't remember. I think I was just informed that I have to do this. What is this? That is up to you guys, man.
Okay.
You stole the Hierophant Constantine's car.
look, obviously we're going to sink it eventually, so he doesn't kill us. But we don't want to sink it till we're done.
Okay. Let us go to New Harbor then, and also we can return it so he does not kill us.
Or we can just turn the throttle up and point it towards the sea and just have it shoot into the ocean.
Let's go to New Harbor.
Let's go to New Harbor.
Alrighty, let me get my environmental stat sheet. Okay. Well, so you guys, this is fairly simple, directly across the river crossing. One note is that, especially on the side of the river near the Iron Ward, it is a mountainous logjam of flotsam and jetsam. There is so much destroyed material on this side of the river. It's like you almost don't even need to turn your car into a boat. I mean, you can, who wouldn't? But like, you almost don't even need to.
So in general, would you say there's not like a lot of like boat traffic on this?
There's a fair amount of boat traffic. It's not.
But there's not like barges or like stuff, like, because if it's this hard to navigate, I guess.
So it's not hard to navigate. It's just it's a very wide river, and like a full third of the south side of it is just like stuff. Like it's all stuff that was left over from the Iron Ward catastrophe. Whatever caused the Iron Ward to happen, this is.
Are there people who built little houses on the debris field?
Nobody lives here.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It's
I mean,
Iron
very
Ward.
few. You know that some people will venture out there if they're feeling adventurous, but spending a lot of time out here is probably very dangerous, especially for you guys, because you guys have a low you have a high threshold for putting yourselves in danger.
But, like,
or a low one. I
In
don't know.
general, like the sort of negative effects of the Iron Ward extend out into this part of the river.
I think if you wanted to know that, you could test it in some way. No, I mean, like, do you think
Shibble, you want to test this water? I dare you to drink some of this river water.
I'll do it.
Hold on. Hold on. This is a moment.
This is why I didn't want
This is an inflection point.
It's the canon event.
This is why I didn't want to do this if I had to be somewhere in 6 hours.
I'm just gonna lean over the side of the boat car.
Okay, I've got my rune ward ready.
So this is
gonna
a
be-
place where like
The episode of The Simpsons where Lisa drinks the water on the Small World ride and starts hallucinating.
oh maybe
That would be fun. That would be fun.
Am I going back to the blood plate?
I mean it is full of iron. It is the iron ward.
But is it my monster energy drink that takes me to the blood plane?
You know, there is this thing where like sometimes your players are like, I will literally never say no to your players are like, bet you have to
Can my mentacles connect to the mycelium network?
Okay, if you end up on the blood plane here, are you on a river of blood?
Surfing on a river of blood. You are currently on what amounts to like a party boat.
I'm drinking
a
the
limousine.
river water. Am I rolling on this?
Yeah, so what you're gonna do here.
I'm assuming I'm rolling.
Hold on,
so sorry.
one moment. I gotta find something.
I feel so aligned with my character right now.
You know, this is why I don't spend a lot of fear, by the way. Because you guys just walk into this shit. I don't have to force it ever.
I'm just open to suggestions.
That's so true.
I knew what I was doing. I knew you weren't going to say no to that.
All right, so give me a.
What
Hold
am
on,
I
let's see.
rolling?
I gotta find a chart.
Should I spend my only hope to do Can I Eat That? Or should I save my hope
I mean,
for whatever crap storm we're about to
are you
walk
eating it, though?
into?
I mean, it's not can I drink that?
But you eat soup.
I guess it's how thick the river is at this point. Determines
The river is so thick you could walk on it at this point.
So it's eatable.
It is
not
edible.
drinkable.
I mean, I would say it's both.
What
You
am I
could-
rolling?
You.
What trait?
One moment. So this is gonna be. Such a good question.
I mean, it's really an oversight in Daggerheart design that they don't have this scenario specifically.
Yeah, it really. You guys, Daggerheart, one of the best games I've ever played in my entire life. You should have thought about this because this is inevitable.
Is it like, I mean,
Hold on, we're gonna.
Constitution?
It is gonna be-
D&D, but like,
yeah.
what's the Daggerheart analog?
So this is gonna be one thing. This is gonna be an instinct roll followed by a strength reaction roll.
Okay. Let's roll for instinct. Hell yeah. That's going to be a 21 with fear.
21 with fear, fantastic.
Can't you max out? Don't you max
I am
out fear?
3 short of max. Okay, so is it 21 with fear?
On the instinct roll.
Great. So that means that you do drink it. What I mean to say here is instead of in the last moment of like not even insight, just self-preservation instinct, you don't swerve. You are resolute.
Can I make a suggestion
Yes.
that maybe this represents drinking it when there's not something gross floating by? Like picking the right moment to drink out of it when there's not like...
Oh, I like that. I do like that. That's smart. Yeah. I'll say yes, but also there will be an eyeball in it.
What kind of eyeball?
You'd have to look.
But like
I'm
mammalian
looking.
or insectoid?
Mammalian for sure.
Left or right?
I don't know how you would tell that from looking at an eyeball.
Well, left eyes have 2 pupils, so it's a right eyeball. Tupils. Sorry. 2 pupils. Pupils.
Is this a vexed myth that your left eye has a pupil in the back you can't see?
We are not responsible.
And then, okay, strength
All right,
reaction
so
roll.
yes, you're gonna make a strength reaction roll.
That's not bad. That's not bad. That's a 15 with fear.
A 15 with fear. No, fear is reaction rolls don't cause that. I am spending a fear. One moment.
What does it taste like? I'm drinking it, so you have to tell me what it tastes
Pain.
like.
It tastes like sour Skittles and car battery acid.
I like one of those things.
And also, there's like a distinct separation in the layers. There was an oil layer and a broth layer, maybe. And the broth layer is maybe it's more like rotting tea. Also, maybe 2 or 3 termites. As Shibble's entire body gets covered in faint white spots that spread out slowly and then like darken to create like a dark blue, actually almost exactly this. Imagine exactly this. So a dark blue shimmering a halo envelops you. You are harder for your friends to see you.
Stealth water.
And you just sort of shimmer a little bit.
Shibble, you look amazing.
Thanks.
How
does it feel?
One sec. You
Do
take
I feel as good as I look?
you take 5 points of damage. So how it feels is you just got punched.
No.
You just absolutely got punched by a glass of water with an eyeball in it.
But punched after you drank the water from the inside of your stomach.
Yeah, at 100%. And then you find yourself almost like in a photo negative, but like it's not quite fully photo negative. It's like you're blue. Like, like you can see like as you swallow it, like it moves through your body and like spreads out and like becomes like, I don't know. You ever play Elden Ring? Like,
No.
Okay.
I'm not a gamer.
Okay. So it's pretty. It's really pretty.
You match Azure.
Yeah, a little bit. You're like shiny.
Azure, what do you think?
Azure is like, that's crazy. You're crazy.
Azure's like, oh, I really hitched my wagon to the wrong one. Regretting everything.
Azure looks like she might be doubting some of her.
Nedezhda doesn't know it, but she's making eye contact with a invisible moose.
Cordelia, I think, is like staring into the water, being like, at least I'm not on a roof, so I can't fall off. I think.
I mean, you absolutely could fall off, and it would be very bad.
She stands further away.
Okay. Are we nearing New Harbor?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's 5. They're done. It's probably like 15 minutes to cross in the water.
I would like to make an instinct check just to look out for sea monsters.
Oh, I mean, there are docks there.
Yeah, but there was supposedly a sea stoat.
Oh,
with it.
yes, there's a sea stoat.
Oh,
yeah.
I just wanna see if I can spot it.
That's fine. That's
No, I only
This
see
will be-
sea
this will be a
weasels, so
knowledge
you're
roll.
good.
But it's perceive.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That's fair. I'll accept that. Yeah.
And I have a +3 to instinct, so.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
so that's 8 with fear.
Oh, wow, guys, this is why.
Bet you could make a really nice coat out of a sea stoat.
A very interestingly water resistant.
Yeah.
You guys do see, as you're looking, sort of again, photo negative think. You do see sort of like photo negative tentacles forming a crown over Shibble's head.
I do not inform Shibble of this.
They're like reaching out of the water, or like,
No, out of yeah.
Mentacles.
So they're like in the
I
photo
need to make
negative.
tentacle attachment for that.
But you do not see any stoats, let alone a sea stoat. What you do see is, one sec. Let me get. I'm gonna go to my original
Have a little
note on
magnet. You
this.
can just stick them on the back when they become.
So what you do see is a city. Unlike the one that you were in before this happened, it becomes pretty clear pretty quickly that something's wrong with the spell grid. Lights are flickering. Like fireworks are going off in these. New Harbor is mostly like storage units. It's not entirely, but it's mostly. And there's a lot of like. I mean, it's New Harbor. It's where things are brought into Vescarre and then taken out of Vescarre. It is mostly for transportation. There's a lot of vehicles here. There are, like, you see at least 2 or 3 forklifts that are like upside down.
I'm unbelievably glad that we're in a gas-powered, non-magical car right now.
There is a sense of things are just wrong. Like you're visibly seeing this.
Affected?
You can check them.
Yeah, I want to check my talk rock.
You don't have. It seems that your signal is like very intermittent.
Now, what were the Fraists? Because we saw what I thought was maybe an attack on Fraist. What were the Fraists in charge of?
How do you mean?
Like their company.
Transportation.
Yeah. The Fraists built a lot of New Harbor. Not all of it, but a lot of it.
Okay. This is looking worse and worse for your family.
Azure is terrified here. As soon as you guys step onto land, Azure becomes
Drive onto land.
shaken.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
well, sorry.
We're going to insist.
That is fair. It is
Okay.
entirely fair. I did give you
So, what I think the way this works is we point the boat at the side, and then go 3, 2, 1, and press the button to turn it into a car.
So there is no check here because you're now on land. So the worst thing that happens is it's just a boat on land.
Or yeah, I guess we just kind of beach it onto the land and then press the car button and
Yeah.
it pops out wheels.
You guys basically pull up onto a dock, and it just like picks up. You good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was simulating.
Oh, the experience. Wow, so transported that I thought something happened to you. The best word to describe it is like it's weirdly quiet or maybe a little eerie here. You can just tell the lights are wrong. They're like flickering, and
You
there's
should do your arcane
like whole
sense
swaths
thingy.
are out.
Okay. I'm doing my arcane sense thingy. Magic. Just make sure that I know the wording. Arcane sense. It's basically you can sense the presence of magical people and objects within close range. Do I pick anything up from? I mean, there's magic everywhere. If there's something.
But I would think if the magic that's everywhere is like suddenly mostly gone, I would think you would be able to kind
you're
of
right.
detect that, right?
So what you catch is like this is a pretty barren area, like of people, and like mostly this is security magic. It would be hard to tell even if things were like off.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a perception. Crit. Okay.
Ooh.
Here's what
4
you
and 4.
immediately tell. First of all, clear stress. You get a hope.
Yeah.
And do your crit stuff. Get your crit on, and you feel immediately that the spell grid is off. Not like turned off, but something's off about it. There are waves of energy moving through the spell grid. It is what is normally a constant, easy, sort of like steady background hum is now silence. A silence that you can't unhear. Like the silence of like, imagine like you live in a city and like you go out one night to the middle of nowhere and it's the kind of silence that deafens you. as soon as you open your arcane senses up, you feel that deafening sound. You hear like a magical deafening. Like it's so.
Like you can hear your blood in your ears.
Yeah. It almost exactly like that, because it's you are far and away the most magical thing here suddenly. Although there are waves of this sort of energy flowing through. Like it's not that it's like barren, it's that the network is broken or something. It's not holding it.
It's like we have one bar.
Something like, it's more like constant overload and then drop, overload and drop. Like not quite one bar. It's more like an instability.
Mm. All right. Well, do we want to?
It is like there is no way to channel for anyone here to channel the energy that is here. It cannot be usefully made into anything. It comes and goes, but it's just comes and goes like a tide with no boats and no water mills. Neither do I.
But
So we go towards the forests.
I think what you can see from here, even just from the shore, there's like plumes of smoke rising out of High Arcadia.
Yes, that seems to be where we always go.
run towards the explosions.
Hooray. All right.
Yeah. You driving?
Yeah, I mean, I think I stow my captain's hat now that it's not in bullet mode.
Okay.
When you guys get in the car, you feel a tremor again. At this point, as your all but disappears, she is tightly curled up in like the crook of your arm.
And also because now it's the same color as Azure, so camouflage wise.
Yeah. Azure's more like hat blue, and you're more like dice blue. You know, standard colors.
Yeah,
hat blue and
dice
dice blue.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna paint my room dice blue.
Yeah, exactly.
How long am I gonna be blue and sparkly?
We'll find out
Okay.
together. I think we can drive that car together. If you guys get into the car. Shibble does sort of disappear in the.
So does it feel like the earthquake that happened in Iron Ward when all the shit went down?
I don't think you guys were alive for that or around for that.
Well, because we knew about it.
Yeah, you knew about it. Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood you.
No, I mean like
understand
the
now.
one when the golem showed up.
It feels like an aftershock.
Could it be an explosion from underground that we felt?
There's too many explosions. We can't run towards all of them.
All right.
You do see there's smoke, plumes of smoke rising out of the old quarter. There are,
My house.
I mean, yeah,
Maybe.
not explicitly, but there's like flashing sparks here and there as you guys drive through the neighborhood you're in. This is all quadrants. This is very straight. Like you just have to know where you're going.
I warned you all about Y2K and none of you believed me.
He bought a bunker and wondered about Y2K.
I know that it's not going to happen for like 900 years, but we need
It is only
900
98.
years, but we need to prepare now.
You, more than anything, the drive toward High Arcadia reinforces the sense of weirdness. There's not a lot of car traffic out here right now, but there are one or two cars that are just laid out, just driven off the side of the road.
No one in them?
Do we
Not that you can
see people around?
tell. No.
Like no one. We don't see anybody.
Nope. I mean, again, New Harbor, not a very populated area. There are certain parts of it that are more so. They are far inland from where you guys are.
But like as we approach High Arcadia.
As you approach High Arcadia, you're on the highway. The interesting, notable thing on the highway is that the gates to High Arcadia are open and not closed. They are not. Did you see? Yeah.
Libby's chat.
Yeah, Libby's chat.
What did Louis say?
I'm gone on Menticles Day. I'm missing out. Here we
Good
celebrate
Menticles
Menticles
Day,
Day. The gates to High Arcadia, which are High Arcadia is always gated. It's always defended. They're open, but they're not like all the way open. They're like a little bit open, like they fell open.
Like
How
not enough that you could just
inconvenient.
drive through.
You could definitely drive through for
Oh,
sure.
okay.
Wait. I'm gonna get out.
No, so if you get out, there are guards there.
Okay.
You see that there are guards there. They look utterly confused. You can see like dissent among them.
Okay. I'm gonna push Cordelia forward because she's afraid.
Roll down the window.
Let's talk.
I mean, if it comes down to it, I think a gate is similar enough to a door.
Yeah.
Well, the gate is like it's open. Is the
We've
thing.
crashed through these gates before, I'm
That's
pretty sure, in some sense.
Gate crash is the party at.
Well, right,
the
when we
White
had
House.
that taxi and you drove it into the gate.
I want to see Jaime talk to himself.
Wait, so what are we doing exactly?
We're making
Cordelia,
Cordelia speak
tried
to
to-
the guards.
speak to the guards to let us into the.
Let me do
Right, we
a.
can pile up here, but we can do this.
We'll see how quickly Cordelia ends up having to go on another errand.
I'm gonna do a presence roll. Damn, that's a really good roll. Even I don't. Okay. So Cordelia goes to talk to them, and they like the guards that she's talking to, they just start fighting each other, like full fist fighting. When I say there's dissent in the ranks here, there is open hostility.
Are we able to, like, get any idea of, like, things they're yelling back and forth, or, like, what they're arguing about? Or, like,
I mean,
like
they're,
do we hear them yelling at each other?
yeah, for sure. They're right next to you. They're basically arguing about what to do now, who to wait for, what to wait for. You get the sense they don't have any orders, and that they're out of communication range.
Like, is it like, I think we should stay here. I think we should go get someone.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like somebody already went. Don't go again. Like, we need people at the gate. You know, like you have to wait till Stokes gets back or whatever. And the other guy's like, well, I got shit to do, and I was supposed to get off 2 hours ago. So,
And now they're punching each other.
and now they're like full blown fist fighting.
Okay.
You see that, like, the two that are fist fighting, their weapons are on the ground and non-functional.
What kind of weapons?
Guns.
Magic guns?
Yeah. Taser guns.
Kind of what we would expect from them.
Yeah, for sure.
Cordelia, the gun and gets back in the car.
Wow! Wow!
I'm a battery. I can make stuff work. That means I'm the only
And also,
one
we can
here
make
with a
Cordelia
gun.
do all the
That's
risky
true.
stuff.
That I already have a gun, so I could just be walking down the street.
I just crit on this gun check. That was a double crit. That's a 12, 2 12s. So what do we
Super
wait, super
crit.
crit? What were our super
What
crit
are the
rules?
super crit rules? I
I don't
forgot.
I think we all get a hope.
Yeah, you do all get a
And-
hope.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks, Cordelia.
You credit for
For Cordelia, yeah.
pick up a
yeah,
gun.
I super critted for Cordelia.
is on.
Yeah,
Thank
she's
you,
really
Libby.
Well, you can't roll out when you're making GM rolls, but when you're rolling for one of the players.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently it's the person that's cursed, not
Next
the
time
not the
I look for an
actual
ocean
thing.
stoat, I'm gonna make you roll for me.
Ocean. Cordelia jumps out of the car. There's a pile of guns.
Okay.
She grabs 3 guns.
I mean,
Guns.
I have to imagine that this car had a gun in the glove box or something.
Yeah,
given-
for sure. This car has like multiple kinds of vodka in the glove box.
Okay.
It also has guns and drugs.
Excellent.
Ooh.
You guys get like 2 handguns, 2 like automatic weapons.
Awesome. Over my back, gun on my hip.
Who's driving? You?
I mean, Cordelia is the chauffeur.
Oh, that's true. Cordelia is a
She's
chauffeur.
still wearing the valet
He's
suit.
still wearing the valet suit. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, true. Cordelia is like, let me just take that. Okay, we're gonna go. And she gets back in the car and takes off. And you guys drive right past these guards who are very clearly not paying attention to you. You keep getting the sense of like waves of energy moving through. You definitely notice that like there are spikes of energy, the ones that correlate to what you're feeling, like around. Much like when you are like what was happening? You did that ritual and
with the forks.
Yeah. And then you
when we blew out the power.
Yeah. It's almost exactly like that, actually. And so you're seeing like as you feel like a wave move through you, like around you, the lights go from like blue to red to white to red to blue, and like they all go 100% brightness and then dim out completely. It's like rolling brownouts are happening. And as this happens, like the spell grid, like whatever is on the spell grid, it like starts to move around, like flop around and stuff. But it's like, the camera just like, and it stops.
I picture like, you know how like when there's like a problem with the power grid, they're like, please don't run your heater or your cooling or whatever.
Yeah.
This is like that, but it's like, please don't cast any spells unless you have to, because we need to conserve.
It's almost exactly like that. One second, I'm gonna go to my environmental stuff sheet.
Add all the guns to my inventory.
Are you keeping all the guns?
I'm keeping at least one
Do you trust
automatic.
Shibble with a gun?
Yes.
Does Shibble want a gun?
I mean,
But
it's
the gun doesn't work.
It's
except
a magic gun.
Yeah, it
the
doesn't
dead
work.
is near it.
Yeah.
So
Shibble's not going to be more deadly with a
Automatic
gun,
gun.
probably. So.
second gun. Okay, 3 guns.
Well, if we have to, we can sell the guns.
You see.
We don't need to sell anything. I'm the only one in this entire world with a working gun right now. Give it to me for free because I have a gun. That's why they made guns.
You know that there are other sorcerers, but
not
you're
many.
not fucking wrong. You're not that far off.
Wizard with a gun.
Hey,
I'm
you know
going
that
to spend a
apartment
fear.
building that was too
No.
expensive? We got a gun now.
You guys feel another tremor move through the city, and you, as you're entering High Arcadia, you notice that the buildings here seem to be especially damaged. The taller buildings are more damaged. And as you drive through, there's another shake, like another aftershock, and it. I spend a fear on this. A part of a tower comes crumbling off. I'm gonna do an agility roll. Should this be agility?
With the car?
Yeah, for driving.
Oh.
Should this be agility or
I
should this
think
be
finesse,
Finesse?
maybe?
finesse?
I'd say
That makes sense.
finesse.
That makes sense. I was like car agility. No, yeah, I'll do that. I'll do a finesse roll. I'm gonna use those dice that were so freaking hot. Where was the other one? Where'd you go, buddy? Where'd you go?
We can give you your own set of Daggerheart dice.
I have my. These are my Daggerheart dice. I literally lost the one. Oh no!
No.
How did I do this to myself? I find a way to. Here we go. I found a way to undermine my own success. Which is not even mine. It's actually Cordelia's. So I'm gonna do a finesse check. Oh, that's okay. Oh no, I don't have Cordelia's updated stat sheet. I was just going based on the fact that it was an 11 and 12, and then a 12.
Libby, you're in the chat. What is Cordelia?
Libby, what's Cordelia's finesse modifier?
Give her the benefit in the doubt.
Plus 3.
3.
Dang.
Wow.
All right, so
Okay.
that's a 22 with fear. As Cordelia expertly and absolutely smoothly, just suave, like, and like doesn't even like you guys are like, like that's all it is. And Cordelia
Still steadily drinking the vodka.
Does
yeah.
does it seem like
Oh, wait.
the damage is getting worse, or is it just kind of constant? Like, does it seem like there's a central point and it's worse and it's less bad as you go out, or is it just kind of like evenly distributed?
think you'd have to make some kind of check to determine this.
Probably instinct.
I think that I think instinct or knowledge could work here. I think it depends on how you're doing it. So what do you how
I
are you
think I'm
looking?
like looking at the damage in the buildings and like how many buildings are damaged and like.
I think that's going to be knowledge.
You don't think that's like perceiving?
I think that this is going to be from what you perceive, determining like reasoning to a fact
Okay.
out of it.
Well, 14 with hope.
14 with hope. Mark your hope. I think so. It is a 14 DC here. You definitely see that the locus of damage so far that you have seen is here, but you also can tell that you know that you haven't been anywhere else yet. You've only been in New Harbor and here. Here there are other people. They look almost dazed, confused, wandering around. You do see a couple bodies. Nobody's attending to them or anything. I think on a 14 with hope, what you intuit or sort of reason to here is for certain the most damage is here.
I
But
mean,
you
like,
don't know that means it was stronger.
Well, and like partly it's like as we go to the center of High Arcadia, does it seem like it's increasing?
No. It just seems like in the neighborhood.
Okay.
It has,
That's what I really want.
So what you see is that the taller buildings are the more damaged.
Right.
And so like the neighborhoods with taller buildings tend to be more damaged.
So it's something happened in the like upper atmosphere.
Or it's just they're more magic dependent, maybe. I'm picturing looking at one of these dazed people with like a really fancy watch, and then looking over at the gun, then looking back at the person, then looking back at the gun.
Wow. A
You
dark
do
moment
have-
for Tim.
Something like 750,000 intercredits still.
You drive by
I
like
have like 10 million intercredits.
condo buildings that are on fire, and there's no emergency like protection. These places would be like warded for like automatic water dispersal through these like magic systems, and they're just not present. You just see like people are just like, they're not even like, I mean, some people are screaming, but like it's like they're just sort of standing there confused. People are very confused. People aren't really talking to each other very much. They look very dazed.
But I mean, I think the Prometheum is the place to go.
To
To figure out what's going
Arden?
on. I mean,
We don't have many friends there.
we don't have many friends anywhere.
Cordelia maybe has.
Yeah, or the Fraists, I guess.
Wait.
Is
I
there
thought
like
we were going to phrase.
Yeah, is there
Yeah.
like a Fraist tower or something?
Yeah, there's several.
Like, I guess we would know.
Brace is
presumably-
more near New Harbor.
Well, we would presumably know where they were called to go to for
New
the
Harbor,
all hands.
like right on the border.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's where we should go. Is where they were heading to.
It took out the helicopters, and it took out the tall buildings. I think it might be
It might be up near the top of the
altitude
spire.
based.
If
almost?
it's coming out of the top of the spire, it might be more intense.
All right.
I think what you observe everywhere else is still true here. It is, you see, I mean, roads are blocked at this point because like whole towers have fallen into them. There are people screaming. There's obvious disaster. This is a disaster. And you can't really get to Frace directly. I will spend a fear on that. But like, I think it's pretty clear that like the taller the building, the more damage. So you expect, I mean, Frace towers aren't that tall, but they're
Especially if they're in New Harbor.
closer to New Harbor. There's just clear damage here. Like, I think I'll spend another fear on this one. You see something. you start to see like a roving band of people at this point. Very wealthy looking people whose clothes are like torn. They are covered in like soot. And they kind of look a little feral. It's probably been an hour and a half since this happened.
Gone.
Society has
Gone.
collapsed.
Yeah.
They're already feral.
Yeah, they're a little bit. I mean, they're not like they look ragged. They look rough, you know, and they look angry.
I think we still want to try to route around whatever damage to try to get closer to
Yes.
Hall.
Oh, so you basically at this point, like the interior wall on New Harbor's border is very damaged. There's a wall. There's a literal wall. And that wall itself collapsed inward a little bit, and like at the top, and it took out a bunch of towers with it. So like that whole border, like several miles.
Does it seem like that would have taken out the Freist?
No, you can see the building. You just can't quite get to it.
How far can we? How close can we get to it?
Maybe like 10 blocks.
10.
And it's not 0 blocks, but also there's like fire and there's other
Okay.
buildings falling down.
Did I talk to this band of feral rich people?
I guess.
What are you gonna say to them?
What is going on? Do they seem less dazed and more like mentally present than the rest? I'm trying to think of
They seem
how-
angrier. They look less confused and more hostile.
Because I would think like we're in High Arcadia now, right?
Yep.
So, in theory, the damage is on the opposite side of us from Freist Tower. Like, Freist Tower is in between us and the damaged wall.
Yes, but the wall fell inward and like took out a bunch of buildings that then fell inward too. So they kind of fell away toward you guys, like away from New Harbor and toward you guys. You can see there's like buildings like laid out on the ground. It's really, really, really bad here. The closer to the wall you are, the more damage you see. Because the wall itself collapsed a little bit. Again, no lights. The only light you see is from your car and from fires.
Seems like we might have to go on foot.
Wonderful.
Well, at least we have a gun.
Is there like some kind of security system on the car?
I think we established last time that I had one of those like steering wheel lock.
Yeah, it
things.
has a low jack, or not a low jack. The other one, a wheel lock.
Okay. I guess I
Oh.
take a little notebook.
What are you guys looking for here?
I'm looking for some information of some kind.
I mean, what specifically?
Either on the event or on the well-being of the Fraists, which is kind of
Oh, I think it would be very difficult for you to discover anything about the well-being of the Fraists per se without going to talk to people directly. Do you want to engage with people directly?
there's nothing else we can do. So I
Well,
guess
I mean, I think the thing we can do is walk to Freist Tower, right? Like,
I guess we got
You
it.
guys are actually going to walk to Frey's Tower? Okay. I think first thing that happens is... Sorry, go ahead.
oh, it just occurred to me that Sam's guns almost certainly don't work. Or do all guns work near Nedezhda, or is it only Nedezhda's guns?
I think... Why don't you tell me? How do you think this works for you? Because you have accidentally set these things off, like set off these like local networks.
I think her what really sparks Nedezhda as like a sorceress, this is like the primal sense of how things are supposed to work smoothly. So the more things are off, like one of the things that she most consistently did was when the power was off in our building and everyone wanted to just make their tea and eat their breakfast.
Yeah.
And she just sat in the kitchen being annoyed,
Yeah.
and everything worked. So if she connects to like, all right, let's put everything in order. I don't see any reason why we have to be upset and missing our breakfast. Kind of like that kind of thing. If she thinks the guns as a force of order, as a force of like let's get things on track and nobody get too crazy and put the kettle back, but only after you've emptied it, because if you leave water inside all day, it'll just get dank and unpleasant.
Dank tea.
That is how she would make the guns work.
Right. It'd be like, this gun should work, so it will.
Yes.
I mean, I
Damn
think-
it. You are getting out of line, Mr. Feral Mob of Rich People. And like that kind of stuff.
I think what happens is you
She's
do
not
sort
like a
of
shoot
like
up a bar kind of gal.
yeah, I think like basically as you
Not
get like
yet.
frustrated with like the approach like being blocked and the fact that like I mean there's not really an emergency services to speak of here anyway, but there's no like even an attempt to like do anything. People are just like it's slowly experiencing disaster and nobody's interfering. I think that makes you upset enough that you sort of like connect the things to yourself and like the guns come online, like the little vape screen touch screens turn on.
It also just occurred to me that the second I got armor that reduced incoming magic damage, you were like, all right, fine. All the magic is
All
gone.
magic is gone.
All right.
It might protect you from friendly fire.
All right. So I guess shall we get out of the car? Gun on the hip, automatic kind of around the back.
Steering wheel lock.
Other gun on the hip. Battle blazer engaged.
Engaged.
You do like a magical girl transformation sequence, but then you end up with just the blaze.
Yeah. I think I unbutton the 3 buttons of the blazer and swing it
Oh my
back over my
God.
hips like a gunslinger, and
Oh my
go to
God,
talk to
that's
these
so
people.
funny. So okay, so you get out of the truck car thing, boat car helicopter truck, and I'm gonna pull up the vibe is instantly hostile. Just
I'm going to
imagine like the worst people in the worst situation.
yeah.
You know.
I will also take 2 bottles of vodka out and give them to Shibble and be like, if things go well, if you could perhaps do
Drink.
what you do and give the bottles to our new potential friends. Hello.
A woman in like cyber gear, and by that I mean like exercise equipment, is like she has like a headset up and over her head. She's wearing like a full body suit of sensors, and they sort of as you approach them, they come online, and she's like, oh my God, it's working, it's back, everybody's back, Spellgrid's back, and like people around her like and they pull out their talk rocks and nothing seems to be working for them. But her stuff is working as you're talking to her.
It'll count my steps again.
Yeah, basically. And she's like, hi,
Hello.
who are you?
I am Nedezhda. I would like to know what has happened here.
Well, wouldn't we all?
What did you personally observe happening here?
There was an earthquake and then I fell out of my building.
Oh,
You fell out of your building.
Yes.
The entire
Look, it's right there. My building. She
how
points
high were you?
the 20th floor.
How did you survive?
I just slid down. It just slid down.
Jesus.
building just sort of
No, it was like it sheared down and then collapsed.
all right. Was anyone else in your building killed?
Yes, hundreds of people.
Oh, all right. Did you? There was simply an earthquake. Was there a loud explosion?
Many. Were you not here? Where
No,
were you?
We're not here.
Well, what are you doing here? Are you here to help?
That
Potentially.
remains to be seen.
How much do I have to pay you?
How much do you have?
How much do you want to pay us?
Nothing.
All
Well,
right.
listen, here's the thing. You decided that you wanted to trail along behind us. Maybe your magic stuff would work for a little bit, but we wouldn't want you to do that for free.
And what's to stop me from just doing it anyway?
We have the only gun that works.
Hello. My name is Nedezhda. I can shoot you.
She pulls out her talk rock and she opens an app and it's just like the gun app. She's like, seems to work for me.
Awesome. I back up 3 steps. Does it still work?
Mhm.
Oh shit.
Got 3 more.
3 more? So, okay. Well,
What app? How does that app work?
Just registers guns nearby.
Oh, it just detects guns.
Yeah.
It doesn't turn your phone into a gun.
No. It's just like looking for guns.
all right.
It's just like a green check mark or a red
I
X.
don't mean
Yeah,
to be-
basically.
I don't mean to be. You know what I do.
There's more people joining at this point.
Is anyone in this crowd able to give me information on what happened here? There was an earthquake, and then buildings started collapsing. Did anyone see anything, hear anything, smell anything?
You hear voices, fire. I heard explosions and screaming.
All right.
There was an earthquake.
I don't think we're getting anything useful out
Does
of these
any-
guys.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Do you have power?
My friend Shibble.
How do you have power?
My friend Shibble here.
You
will
have power?
Give you some vodka to feel the sting of not having power a little less.
Like weighing it, like,
It's fancy vodka, by the way. I want to be clear about
this
that.
isn't Vexen vodka.
Yeah,
That's
That's-
gross.
what? That's like saying Russian. Oh, Russian vodka.
Yeah,
Like,
it's gross.
it's high end.
No, I only drink Kendallone vodka.
All right, let's go.
Either you drink it or I make a Molotov out of it and throw it at
That's
you.
not. It's not even made of potatoes. Like, oh,
All right. Shall we go towards the phrase then?
they only drink vodka that's been filtered through diamonds.
Yeah, basically. I think one of them jumps on you.
On me?
Yep.
Oh.
A nat
Screw
1
that.
on my dice. A
Awesome.
nat 1 on my dice.
Oh.
Alright.
So I think one of them
Is
does
this
jump on you.
hostile?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
Can you bro someone to death?
Well, I happen to be an expert in de-escalating violent situations.
All right.
Oh, I was just gonna hit them back.
All right.
We'll give me one shot.
Do you want to? What are you gonna do? There's like they'll latch onto you. They're trying to bite you and they're failing.
Oh.
Yeah, I want to try to de-escalate this situation
So,
if possible.
so are they like clamped onto me?
They're trying to. They're like, yeah.
Can I just like belly flop onto the ground on top of them?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. Make a strength roll.
That is a 15 with hope.
15 with hope. They're a 14, I think. 15. So yeah, you land on this thing, this guy,
Thing?
like on this person, like this material under you, and it like you feel for a moment that it squishes, like it feels less like a person and more like a mat.
You just switch that guy.
He's like clawing at you at this point, and he's like, "Give me power and vodka."
All right. You want to get back in
Yeah,
the car?
well, I want to try to de-escalate the situation.
All right.
It's like face down on top of
What did
this
you do
guy,
to him?
holding
What did you
him
do
down
to
the
him?
ground.
Listen, you can have the vodka if you leave us alone.
They're at this point they're just swarming.
Is it even possible to try to do like a presence to de-escalate, or
Yeah, I'll let you do that. You're gonna do this with disadvantage.
okay? Well, I would normally get advantage,
Then
so it
yes,
cancels it out.
no, we roll it together.
Okay.
So you get both.
And that's because of the voice of reason.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll also spend a hope to add my strength to it. Okay, so that's 15 and 19, 23?
23 with hope or fear.
Oh no, sorry, 22. With fear.
With fear. You knocked the guy out, by the way, under you.
Hey.
With fear. You tell me how you try to calm the situation down.
And like, I think I'm just like, if you can have the vodka, you just gotta calm down, just gotta leave us alone, and we won't hurt you, and we'll give you this vodka.
By the time you're 3 words into that, they are clamoring for what you have in your hands. I don't even know if you have anything in your hands, but they think you do.
Plan B.
But it works. You see them reaching for it. People were starting to like approach Shibble, and they have turned to look at your hand. They look slightly less aggro in the moment, but still very intense.
I pull out my pistol and fire it 3 times into the air.
Okay. Well, so that works. Just to be clear, your thing worked. Your action succeeded. But you do see another group of people behind the people that are sort of hoarding around you.
Yeah. I fire my pistol into the air several times.
What are you trying to do with that?
Scare them.
Make a presence roll.
And
I'll do this. You can do this with advantage.
right, well, because a dread visage, I could argue.
Yeah, that's true.
apply
Yeah.
to this.
No, it would absolutely apply, I think.
No. What is that? 9
With hope or fear.
with hope, and that's with advantage.
You fire the gun, and it fires 1 round, and then shuts off. The gun is now dead in your hand.
Even if I go near Nedezhda,
Yep.
it still seems dead.
Yep.
All right.
Like, it seems to be like trying to reboot.
Okay.
Plan C, but you're not gonna like it.
I haven't liked
gu-
anything that has happened almost all day. So go ahead if you want.
Okay.
But
Well,
another
if you want to do something
option
with it.
is we can all just get back in the car, which I assume.
But we can't.
But we have to
But we would
walk.
have to. Yeah, we can't get to where we wanted to go. We'd have to go home.
I don't know that. Okay, wait. I'm gonna run back to the car, be kind of hanging out be ready to like run in. Has anyone seen someone in the toga?
Make a presence roll.
Uh-huh. Yes. So that is a 10
Mm-hmm. With hope or fear.
with hope. So I'm all stocked up on hope. Which is weird in a post-apocalypse.
I think you've gone so far that you flipped back around to the other way and ended up with hope.
I don't think we're post-apocalypse.
No, you're
The
mid-apocalypse.
apocalypse isn't over yet.
Yeah.
We had a mini apocalypse in Iron Ward.
You yell this, and realize that more hordes are approaching, but they have ignored you. So by yelling this, when you yell this, you suddenly get like a moment of like, oh my god, I'm drawing attention to myself from people who are effectively like feral suddenly.
Wait.
Okay.
I have a thought. Can you decide to turn the magic off?
I don't know. I've never tried. Something I can do, I can make a minor illusion of something that's no bigger than myself and send it off in another direction and let them chase that. And we can try to stealth our way to the Fraists. Although I don't know what the Fraist could tell us that we haven't already, we might just want to pile in the car, run
I think
down a bunch of people
Cordelia's
who are
sitting in the
trying to
car
kill
like,
us.
guys, we should go.
Okay, let's go.
Just go home?
I'm going to spend another fear. And there's another tremor. More buildings collapse near you.
Or should we go to the storm spot?
You guys aren't driving, so I'm not going to do a check to drive to avoid falling stuff. Instead,
Do we all have to do agility?
you're all have to make agility rolls, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Crit.
I thought that was bad, and then I saw that it was a crit.
But you guys
6-6.
both crit
Yeah.
And you got 3-3?
Yep.
13.
with
Fear.
you fail. You're still getting up from having jumped onto this person, like belly flopping onto this person's now unconscious under your feet. And you're still standing up for this process as there's a tremor and like just like straight up a window falls on you. It smashes through you basically. I'm gonna do.
It smashes through me.
That's
and
like
I
that.
smash through it.
Yeah, that's just like the ultimate revenge. Instead of Shibble smashing the window smash Shibble.
Yeah. Like basically like a piece of a window like lands on your back and it's like a pane of a window, so it just like shatters as it hits you. That's gonna be 10 points of damage as like a huge like bay window like lands on you, and also the guy underneath you is gonna take 9 points of damage. That is it for him. He is dead.
God.
Frankly, good. Anyway,
Okay.
Shibble, let us go into this,
I just
into
got
the...
major damage from a window.
Are you? How bad are you at? Are you at this point? Like, how rough are things?
I have 4 HP left.
Okay.
And most of my armor.
I think.
Like, I took the window
I
to
think
the
I-
body.
I
I
wanna-
did.
To the window, to the body.
I think I turn to the crowd, and I stuff a rag in the mouth of the vodka bottle and put a lighter near it, and I'm like, "Back, stay back!"
I'm getting in the car. Shibble?
As I'm backing towards the car
Yeah.
Are we driving home to the
or
spire?
to
Where
the
we
storm
going?
spire.
I mean, there's nothing more
Oh
we
wait,
can do here.
I missed 2 fears. I forgot to put them there. And so, as you guys get in the car, there's another tremor, and Cordelia takes off immediately. You guys are all in the car, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cordelia takes off immediately. Starts driving back the way you guys came, and in the rearview mirror, she's like, "Oh my god!" And she points back. Something's the ground is collapsing back there. And you see there's like a rent in the ground, is like growing, like a crack in the ground. It's like buildings like along the side of the street are falling into it.
This is really taking the wind out of Sam's anti-corporate sales, because he's like, I guess I didn't need to do anything.
I mean,
all of the corporations fell into a giant hole.
oh, I
And a
don't.
good part
Sam
of it-
wouldn't think that. I'll say that Sam would not think that all the corporations fall into a hole. Sam thinks that the places where some of those corporate people live have to use their insurance. That's what Sam thinks. Not a. This is not a like an economy ending event. This is financial devastation for some people, but not many.
Wondering if I can somehow disguise Cordelia. I mean, can't get any information. We can't see the face. So
Yeah, I think it's either home or the storm spire.
well, the Storm Spire or back to the club.
Why?
Because I have an appointment there, and
In
also
4 hours.
we 100% do have to return this car, or a mob boss will murder us.
I think returning the car is going to make us more likely to get caught.
We can just
Because the thing is, if we return the car, he's still going to know that it was stolen, but he's going to have more evidence that it was us.
Well, we can
Whereas
at
if we
least-
just ditch the car,
okay. Let's ditch it like a couple of blocks away then,
Okay.
but not like drive it into a river and or off a cliff or something or a wall. The point is, I think it would be better if he got it back.
I just think he's going to be just as mad.
Then let's at least not take it out on the car. The car is the best thing that's happened to us all day.
And the storm spire's in the low light district, right?
Yes, it's on the river.
Is there like
on the south side of the?
I assume there are like bridges.
Yeah, there's several major bridges. There's also the new metro, the new train.
But you have to sell your soul to ride it.
Yeah. I think let me look at my actual specific notes because the wording on this is
Okay,
important.
so maybe we drive to the low light district, or drive to near the storm spire, ditch the car there.
I think the closer to the club, the better.
Speaking of the train, the roads are mostly empty and quiet. You can see that they're like hanging over the river. The where the train line runs over the river is like the train is like hanging off the train track. It doesn't seem to be able to move to generate the sort of lift that it needs, but so it's like slowly inching forward, and like the cars in the back are like getting pushed like up, and it's like starting to like pop up in the like the back cars where they meet, or like people are like screaming and running along the tracks.
Well, okay, here's another factor. It's on the way. The Stormspire is between us and the club. So we can at least go there.
I agree.
Figure out what's
Stormspire, no,
on.
I'm sorry. Stormspire is not on the way. It is, so you are here.
Okay, so here's my
Stormspire's here, club is here.
So where in the Iron Ward border is the...
So, the club is here. This is the lighthouse.
Yeah, because like if we're in High Arcadia and that's where the Stormspire is, then that's like basically on
So
the
you guys
path.
are, I guess I can see that. Yeah, it's a little, the map isn't quite to scale, but yes, I can see
But
that.
like there's a
Yeah, there's a
reasonable
path.
Yeah.
There's a path through there. One sec, we're getting some echo. We're trying to fix it. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Libby says better. I'm gonna check with okay, cool. All right.
Because also, it seems like getting from High Arcadia to New Harbor is probably not very possible because of the wall. Like you said, that's the whole area that collapses the border between High Arcadia.
Oh,
and New
you know
Harbor.
that the gates are open. The gates are magically closed. Magic isn't working. The gates can't open.
Yeah, but we couldn't get to the
didn't-
Price Tower,
didn't
so
the
we can't
entire
get back
border
into them.
collapse?
No. It was just like along that western edge.
Oh,
It's
okay.
but it's you. I don't think you would know that from there. So it's reasonable to be like, yes, you can absolutely go south. This is the normal path you take when you go to the what is it, the Poldarchium or whatever it's called, the Promethean. That's the normal path that you would take. So you would swing near the Stormspire if you would like to do that.
Yeah, I think that's what we want to do.
As you cross over the bridge, the bridge is, we're going to just go ahead and say you guys take the boat version of this car because the bridge is destroyed.
Yeah, fair.
Two,
All bridges? Like,
not all, but this northern bridge is destroyed. It just like fell out, like it just straight up fell out of the like a slab of concrete fell out of the actual bridge frame. Two,
someone turned off the power on the bridge and it fell off.
I mean, basically, it there's like a raising portion, and it just turned off and just like tumbled out. Two, the ground here is dangerously broken. The ground is like no longer even. It's like an explosion underground.
So High Arcadia, right? It's basically on like a bluff. It's like high.
Mm-hmm.
So do the bridges that go from High Arcadia to like Low Light, are they like ramps basically?
They go around the bluff. That's why they're there.
What do you mean?
So the bluffs are like the bluffs exist like right in front of High Arcadia. The bridges go around the bluffs.
Because I thought all of High Arcadia was like,
Yeah,
Wait.
the bridges don't go directly into High Arcadia. They go into the old quarter. Yeah, there's a portion of the old quarter in that's
okay, so there's not like a direct bridge from High
No.
Arcadia. Like you have to go to the
no, the
edge.
only direct bridge is the train.
Okay, gotcha.
That's like the thing the train does, is give you a direct path.
As we are getting more towards the Stormspire, how is your little mushroom friend doing?
Basically
Bad.
vegetative.
Very bad.
How is it only getting worse for this mushroom?
The ground, like I said, it's broken. It's jagged. Portions of the ground stick out, like off kilter. The road is non-existent here at this point, like south of the river. There are blue particles floating in the air like ash or snow, coming out of like rents in the ground.
Can I interact with them?
Do you want to get out of the car?
And just roll the window down?
Yeah, you can roll the window.
Okay.
I mean, you can reach out and touch them if you want.
Okay, yeah.
It's just like a dust mote. A very shiny dust mote.
All right. So, wait 1 second. Underground, there is some sort of explosion, and high in the air, there is some sort of explosion.
The closer you get to the storm spire, the more the ground is under.
Is it one of those you have to go down to go up things?
I don't know.
Can you ask your little friend?
I think. Are you guys stopped here?
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
The road is very hard to drive. I think Cordelia would pull over. I think she gets out of the car and she's looking, not like walking away from the car. She just sort of gets out of the car and just looking.
Well, there's one thing I want to do, sort of on the trip before we get here,
Okay.
which is the heal shibble. So this is the one where I take a few minutes, and bench to hope. And so if one of us reveals something about ourselves, then you get to do 2 instead of just 1. I could do 1, but it's almost it's sort of semi-related to Cordelia, so I almost feel bad going into this when they're not here, but I could talk about it a little bit. So, you know, I know Vay and have known her since before she knew Cordelia. She stole my girlfriend. Can't trust her.
Oh.
That's when I started that cult.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
Nedezhda has been hitting the vodka since the club. Who's your girlfriend?
Her name was Catherine. And I assume that Vay used her and threw her away like she does everyone. But
Damn.
I was the one who started the things that became Fuse until Vay took over.
So what did you want Fuse to be? Assume not a mushroom cult?
No, I wanted it to be something that would fight back against the corporations and empower people. But Vay just decided, stole my girlfriend, she stole my hacking collective.
Wait,
Can
is it-
I take out my raspberry and search what was Catherine's last name? I'm quietly not letting you know that I'm
Katniss.
Catherine Katniss.
Cat. Was she also a Qatari?
Yeah, she was for sure.
Because
For
her
sure.
name was Katarina before we
Yep.
just declared a different NPC was Katarina.
All right, kitty cats. Let's see if you're on social.
So you can heal 2
You think
HP
Katniss-
if you want.
Oh, thank you.
All right. What do I find out?
That's an interesting question because I hadn't actually decided what actually happened to her.
Was Sam like, absolutely, I will not fantasy Google you?
Is she still with Vay?
Was it like too much?
I think Sam does follow her on like Sparkle, but she hasn't posted anything in like 5 years. But yeah, I think there's just one mention of like an arrest. Like there was a point where,
Like she got arrested?
yeah, where she got arrested.
Oh.
Okay.
And Vay kind of like didn't help in that situation.
Oh, okay. I accidentally like a post from 7 years ago. then realizing
It's
screwing
a
up
picture
and turn off my phone.
of Catherine and Sam.
That's so funny. That's so
You see a
funny.
notification on.
Oh shit.
Were you on like your main personal account or like a fake account when you liked the post?
I think she has a fake account. Yeah.
That makes it a little better.
Yeah. Actually, would Nedezhda have a fake account? No.
I don't think so.
You're right. You're
I
right.
feel like Nedezhda just has her account,
Yeah.
Okay.
and her profile picture is exactly the one that we use in our art.
Yeah.
It's like
And it's the
you
only
see
picture on
who
the
liked
account.
you, and then you drop your own phone, and it's my exact thing.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like your corporate ID badge photo.
yeah. It's a
It's
photograph of a photo.
Side eyes.
Yeah. Oh, wait, so
She
what was
doesn't
the
have a fun username.
mechanically? What was happening?
First name dot last name.
Yeah.
That was using
I healed.
my healing power and then
That's all.
getting an extra bonus thing for revealing something about myself.
Cool. Okay.
Honestly, if Jibble
Stalking-
saw this whole interaction, I feel like it would heal them a
Stalking
little bit.
someone's ex is healing. Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it is.
Yeah, especially when you find out that they got arrested, and then you're like,
Never underestimate the healing power of Schadenfreude.
So,
you're like, you got arrested. I have $11 million. I think I won this breakup.
Okay. Anyway, so now we're investigating the blue sparkles coming out of the mysterious crack in the
I think
ground,
this-
They're just
is-
blue and sparkly.
Cordelia is like
Are they the same color as Shovel right now?
no, they're like
They're not.
more
dice
like
blue.
they're actually much more like Azure.
Ooh.
The
Does Azure interact with them at all?
so Azure's like really terrified and not like paying attention to the
No,
world outside
okay.
right now
Mhm.
at all. But what Cordelia looks at here, she's like, guys, there's something down here.
What?
There's like a building down there.
There's like a hole in the street, and we can see a building.
Yeah, it's like a big rent in the street.
How far are we away from the storm spire?
You are not far. It's
Like a couple of blocks.
yeah, a
Right
couple
there.
blocks. Yeah,
Should we
it's
go
just
to
on the
the
other side of the
hole?
river.
Should we go to
Usually
the
there'll be
building
a
in the
bunch
hole?
of tourists pretending to hold up the storm
Yeah,
fire.
exactly, Yeah.
And there's like I imagine there's like a really overpriced restaurant at the top of the storm spire that
Well, you can't really go up to the storm spire.
like on top of it they built a revolving restaurant that's overpriced.
They put a space needle on top of the storm, like a whole space needle on top of the storm spire. And you have to take a helicopter to get to the space needle entrance so that you can walk up 30 flights of stairs to get to the restaurant that spins around.
Okay.
Oh my god. I
Okay.
think the space needle fell off the storm spire.
So the building is it like a bunker? Is it like a
So, I mean, you guys look down. This is weird. There is light coming out of the ground. There's like red light with like, it's like casting shadows up. Like, you see Cordelia's face is like underlit red.
So
spooky?
in this hole, is it like a sheer drop, or is it like more gradual?
It is a relatively sheer drop. More than a sheer drop, though. It is like somebody peeled the skin off of a drum. Underneath the road is a network of tubes, like lava tubes kind of, but in reverse. Lava tubes tend to be like it's like a hole through rock. This is like a rock hole through space, and there's like a loose network you can see of, not loose, I mean, a
So-
broad network.
Let me see if I understand this correctly. So it's like you know how like in Futurama they have like the like circular tubes that they travel through, right?
Mhm.
So it's like that, but made of rock, like solid rock.
Yeah. Actually, it's a very good.
And
yes.
glowing?
They're not glowing, but they are lit in this sort of sinister, dark red light. Like I said, it's all, the light seems to be coming from underneath. You realize that like a lot of these places where like there are holes in the ground that you've driven past a lot of these. Each of them has had like stuff sticking out of them, and this is the stuff that's been sticking out. Are these like projections that are like coming out of the ground?
Do we have an idea of how deep it is, like how far it is to the ground from this hole? or any ground, I guess.
Make an instinct.
Oh, this is probably in low light,
Yes.
maybe. So,
Not having the best luck.
13
13 with hope.
with hope.
You can't, from where you're standing, you can't really tell.
Like, I imagine, like, I drop a rock down and, like, try to listen for, like...
So you drop a rock and it hits just like something a couple feet away from you, basically. And like, but you can hear it like bounce off that and then hit something else. But you can't, from where you are, you can't really tell because there's a whole ass building in the way, underground.
Well, I did get a bunch of climbing supplies for our underground trip.
It looks like whatever building this is, it's attached to the underside of this of the surface. Like it's hanging off.
Is it like a reverse building? Like
in Avatar, The Last Airbender, where there was like that city that like hung on from the like overhanging cliff face. It's like that.
So, like, I guess how far from the hole is the like building part?
I'm gonna spend a fear real quick. And the answer to that is make an agility reaction.
All right. 15 with fear.
A 15 with fear. It's back because I'm using it, but you just gave me a fear. Everybody else needs to give me this too. If you're standing out there.
Agility.
Agility.
Wait,
reaction.
it's a reaction roll, so there's no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's right,
okay.
yeah.
Sorry, yeah. So I put this one.
19.
19. You're fine.
19.
19. You're fine. The DC is 16. Sam, you fall in. So does Cordelia.
Oh.
Oh
no.
Oh, if only Cordelia could fly.
If only.
Oh.
And immediately you are caught in a blast of hot air, like a really like intensely hot air blasting upward, and you get like spun over. I'm gonna do this as a d20 roll. It's pretty far. Give me a finesse.
Okay. 18.
18. This is not a reaction roll. So this is going to be with hope or fear.
Oh, with fear.
18 with fear. Okay, so you are immediately able, not immediately, I'm sorry. You are able, but not immediately, to grab onto some kind of like netting material as you're sliding past it. So you fell pretty far, and then like you got blown against the wall, and like as that happened, you grab out. There's some sort of like netting material that is attached to this building, and you grab onto it.
What about Cordelia?
You don't see it.
Do I hear her getting like,
Yeah, I think you do.
Guys, I'm okay. I don't know that Cordelia is.
And then you hear,
Are you okay, Cordelia?
I thought I wasn't gonna fall because we're not on a roof.
Cordelia's
But then I
alive.
fell into a roof.
Okay, I was gonna call her. I put away my can.
Into a roof?
Yeah.
Into the building?
You know,
Yeah.
with Cordelia's
There's
luck,
an upside down, so she fell onto the roof.
There's like
An upside down roof.
an awning or something
Ah.
like sticking out, and she fell onto it.
with Cordelia's luck, she would land on her talk rockets.
You guys are really close to the storm spire. Are you standing near the edge where these like the sparkles are coming out of?
Yeah.
As you approach the edge, Azure is becoming more interactive. She's like, I smell home. I can smell home.
Where's home?
The lattice network. We're near. How are we here? She looks very confused. Well, your phone rings.
Who was calling?
It says caller ID blocked.
Is it a collect call?
I'm not gonna say hello, but I am.
Nadia, I can see you. You can say hello. I'm right here. Turn around. You see Katarina.
Hello.
Hello, darling.
Who's there?
I choose not to be offended.
Is that Katarina?
Don't mind him. He just told us about his ex. The car's behind me, I'm assuming.
Yes.
I have been hitting the bottle since we essentially went to the club. What else is in the glove compartment? Here we are.
Guns. Many,
I'm
plural.
wearing guns.
You're wearing the guns?
I think you just keep finding more guns.
Okay.
Okay.
More gun. Cleavage gun.
Yeah.
And
These are the guns in the car are non-magical guns.
Oh.
Ooh.
okay. And then I'll take a few. Vodka.
Oh. Thank you. God. What a fucking night, huh?
Sister, you said it.
She is wearing her dress, so it's the same dress, but it clearly is half the length it was before. It
Does she have a
was
button that just adjusts it?
no, it's full ripped. Like she definitely ripped it. She has like sequins hanging down off where she ripped, like on like the new hem that she made out of it. She looks rough, but she looks like she's in a good mood. She looks like she's having a good time today. Oh, so what brings you here?
Oh, you know. A dancing mushroom. A mob that turned us away from somewhere else.
Oh,
What else happened? Hey, what else happened today, Sam?
Oh, so much. We stole a car from like
She
a
looks over
mob
the
guy.
edge. What are they doing?
We fell.
Oh, good.
And in the meantime, I'm like climbing down to try to get to Cordelia.
So you guys are on opposite sides of this cavernous space.
Oh, we're not on the same
You're
building.
not on the same building.
Well, I mean, I guess
You got blown against the wall.
I guess I'm still going to be climbing down to the.
That makes
bottom
sense.
of this building.
So we'll get to you in a minute.
Yeah.
So she looks at it. She's like, "Wow, good luck. Hopefully that turns out okay."
Did you come to get your car back?
Yes, I knew that you took the car to bring it to me.
Oh,
So thank you so much.
oh, you're welcome.
She gives you like air kisses. Listen, I have to call our date early because it turns out we're going home now.
Well,
By the way, you're out of vodka in your car.
No one.
we made one bottle go wrong. Anyway.
Oh, a party.
Well, sister. It's good to have someone I can rely on. I am running out of family members.
Can I have a gun? So she puts it into her cleavage. Oh, thank you so much. Oh,
I feel naked without it now.
I know. It once you have
Like
a
30
gun,
other guns.
She's like, listen, I was going to tell you a thing later, but we have to leave it now. There's the Hierophant. She yells this, and there's like a guy. I mean, a kingpin, basically. Just imagine the kingpin, but he looks like he got shot out of a t-shirt cannon. He's absolutely.
I mean, I have to
destroyed.
say, you've done some really great descriptions for so far.
Ah.
That's like up there on Mount Jaime.
Thank you.
As far as descriptions go.
He looks rough, man.
Like
He's
the
a
kingpin, but shot out of a t-shirt hand.
yeah, he looks unwell. His very expensive white linen suit is absolutely demolished. His clothes are hanging off of him. He does not wearing shoes. She's doing so much better than he is. And he's like, "Why is my car over there? What is happening? Who are these people? You better have it." He's so far away from you guys. He's like trying to climb. And she's like, "Listen, I was going to tell you something, but before he gets here, I need to make sure you understand the gravity of this. You cannot tell anybody."
Fine. No, really fine.
Make a presence roll.
Could I have advantage if I am a good child of the Vexen Church. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, or true witness. Stop talking about thy neighbor. I know the 7th commandment.
She pulls the vodka out of a bag. She pours you a shot, pours herself a shot. Prost. Okay.
Seventh commandment is basically snitches get stitches.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like, heard. There's a new shipping route to Vex.
Hmm?
It goes directly to the Stormspire.
Whoa.
And that is where Gabriel and Bavara went. Yes?
Maybe. I can't tell you everything. What is the fun?
I have to admit, you are the first person I've met in a long time who's actually.
She laughs. She's like,
Okay.
you too. You're
Okay, okay. Look, I do not know Isabel. But I already do not like her.
probably fair.
Dirt, tea, spilled vodka. Something that I can say to
Spill
get
the
under
window
her
moth.
skin when I finally meet her and punch her in the face.
I know what happened to the missing shipment.
Ah, thank you. Ah. Anything else?
She owes me.
I will let her know. I'm going to, let's see. Fuse. I'm going to take the intercredits that I was going to buy drugs with. You see Gabriel and Bavara. Tell them if you could pass it along.
Of course, darling.
And tell them
Is that the entire amount of intercredits?
it's 2,000 that I was going to buy drugs with. Oh, and one more bottle of vodka.
Oh, thank you.
You
and-
cross out drugs on the envelope and write for everyone.
Yes. For Gabriel and Barbara. I hope you are having a lovely time in Vex. Tell Isabel I will meet her soon and she will not enjoy this meeting. Hugs and kisses. Nedezhda.
You pass the note around?
Yeah.
Turn your drug money into a postcard.
That's
Wish
the ninth
you were
commitment.
here.
She tucks it away. I pass everything along.
Okay.
No, I have to go before he catches up because I don't want to walk with him. He's so irritated. Never stops complaining. Okay,
Have a good one, darling.
you too. Stay safe. Also, generally speaking, we don't know how it works. Just so you know.
All right. That's better.
Mwah, mwah. Okay. She goes to get her car.
Well, that took a lot of pressure off me, I have to say. I'll climb down with you now.
Be careful.
No. Slug of vodka.
Asher, do you want to go down there?
Azure is crying with hope. Crying with like relief. at the idea of going down
Okay, we're going down there.
Could I just say something?
Yep.
Dance your cares away.
there.
Froggle Rock.
Yeah, Froggle Rock. I just watched that actually.
Yeah.
You know who we really need in this situation is Kyrie and Sir Kensington, because I could just load Kyrie into my gun and shoot her across the gap.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. This is actually really similar to that scenario, isn't it? It's very similar. I always have a cave and a missing fungus.
Yeah. But the last fungal character was so powerful, you made an entire setting that had no fungals.
Yeah, that is true, actually. So, what do you guys do? What do you do?
Climbing down.
Okay, so there is no direct or clear, obvious way to get down. There will be checks to be made. There, like I said, there are these weird reverse lava tubes. Give me 4 agility checks. Or finesse. Give me 4 finesse checks. If you fail, they're all DC 16. If you fail any of them, you will have a reaction agility roll. Immediate fail. Okay. So, was that with hope or fear? Fear. Okay, so you take one step.
9.
One step into. You're like, okay, where is this? And it just collapses under your feet, and you just slide on down. Give me an agility reaction roll.
17.
17. So, okay, so that happens, and you immediately, like, you just land on one of these tubes, slide down like 20 feet, and you just stop. Like, you stop because you grab onto like a branching tube nearby. You're hanging over what appears to be a bottomless abyss. And Azure is ecstatic. As these purple like motes float up from this bottomless abyss. Light comes from nowhere underneath you guys. It's all red light. It's dark red light. It's like almost in the infrared. So it's not super visible, but it's like it casts like a weird shadow upward. You are climbing down, you said?
Yeah.
So you climb down, and you're able to land on like an overhang.
Like basically the same thing,
Yeah.
same kind of thing.
Same
but
exact kind of
further.
thing. Exactly.
What's the distance between these 2 buildings?
Probably 30 feet.
Okay, so is that close?
No. Oh wait, actually, I'm gonna say no.
Probably
Because you're upside down, what
Far
distances are gonna be
distance.
different, yeah.
mechanically.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's you can see Cordelia's like on the opposite side of this cavern. How are you getting down?
Well, I just saw Shibble eat it. So, I am looking for something that will help me.
I mean, I assume we all have like rope and stuff.
Oh. Katarina, there's some rope or a whip or some sort of weird harness thing that you have. A weird, in boat sex swing.
In boat sex swing?
Sam pulls the rope out of his pack and looks up at you and shrugs.
Like as you do this, like a rope, a whip, an in-boat sex slave fly down.
Thank you. I'm adding them to my inventory.
She's like, okay, tata darling, I will see you back home, I think. Bye-bye.
Tata. Rope. I am really going to miss her.
Sam, give me a
Whip. Sex swing.
give me an instinct check.
What is this for?
It's because you're digging around in your bag.
Is this an advantage probably?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, that was good. 22 with fear.
No.
As you dig through your bag for your rope, you pull the rope out, and also there's a note in your bag.
What does it say?
It says, Mr. Sam Sarif, we are aware of your activities. Be aware that we are watching AO3. Signed, Courier.
Man, they're efficient. Not even anyone who belongs to this group yet. They really early got there early. And you said signed courier? And that's not like something I've heard of, right? Like
It's written in like a type font.
it's
Like a
the
typed out
type font courier. But it's also signed courier.
Yeah.
Okay.
But just to be clear, I'm not forgetting something. Like that's not a thing I've heard.
No, you have no idea what this is.
Okay. Can I use the rope to give me advantage then?
Yes, you can.
Awesome. So this is, I guess, finesse.
Yes. Uh-oh.
So that is 7 with advantage.
Oh no.
1, 1, and a 5.
Well,
Okay.
So I think you've seen
Nedezhda-
Nedezhda plummeting down on a sex swing attached
Is
to a rope.
Nedezhda within,
that's tied to nothing.
It's hard to nothing.
Yep.
is Nedezhda within far range of me?
Yes, that's just a far range of you. But before we do anything, we're going to break here.
Okay.
As you see, Nedezhda throws herself over the edge wearing a sex sling and a rope with nothing tied to it.
I tied something to it. I'm going to say it gave way.
I mean, it's loose, is what
Yeah.
I mean. Yeah.
And my second question, and if you want time to think about this over the break, do my abilities work right now?
We'll find out when we come back.
All right.
Hey.
Hello, welcome back. We are back to the show. Oops, there goes gravity. Oh no. Because you guys fell. So what was you fell? You put on a sling, tied a rope to the sling and then to something else, and then whatever you tied it to was like it just crumbled, and you
I'm
just
sort of on a velvet swing, plummeting towards the.
the endless abyss below,
Yeah.
and you pass Sam.
Hello.
How far from success were you?
Well, I don't know what was success. I got 7 with advantage.
9 away.
Okay. I think Sam is going to do the only thing that he can think of. He doesn't know if this is going to work, but he's going to pray.
Okay.
Specifically, music.
Let's see.
But praying to Asmodeus. I don't know if the spell grid stuff is going to affect us or not.
I mean, I can I make a what, not dexterity saving throw, but like a, what Shibble got when.
Well, I can basically just increase the roll that you already did.
By 9?
I thought it was 9 total that it had to be. Or it was a 9.
No,
off.
it was 9 away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I misunderstood. I thought, oh, it's only
No,
2.
it wasn't. Yeah, no. It was. It
Okay.
was.
Yeah, I
it was
didn't roll that
16.
well, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I was like, what am I missing? This is not making sense to me.
Okay.
But maybe if you have another roll to try to catch something, I can help.
Yeah.
You are plummeting. You say hello to Sam. Sam goes, uh-oh. And I think
Can I try to grab Nedezhda?
Can I have advantage if I promise that it will be unbelievably undignified if I can catch myself? Dignity to the wind.
yes. Yes. As long as you debase yourself.
1, 2, 3. So that's 6. And it's undignified.
Is it with hope or fear?
It is with fear.
What are you trying to do?
I'm just trying to catch myself before I guess
Well,
plummet to my
what are you
death.
rolling?
I thought I was rolling. Oh, finesse. So that's 7.
So a finesse this would be a reaction roll, so it'd be no hope or fear.
Okay.
and it's still going to be a 16. But you,
Help.
yeah, you could help for sure.
So what is that? That's how much hope? So remind me. So like 1 hope, right? And then I guess that doesn't help if they already have advantage, right?
Yeah,
So never.
I think I'm gonna spend a fear here. And this fear is the fear you feel in your heart. When as you're plummeting into an inky void abyss of like deep red light, like sourceless deep red light and warm buffeting winds and confusing motes of purple glowing dust.
Mm-hmm.
You reach out with your hands and touch nothing. And then one of these weird tube-like projections reaches out and grabs you. And you were just hanging midair.
Okay.
I think
I
Sam
want to
takes
say-
out his talk rock and starts looking for new sorcerers on the job boards.
I'm going to go ahead and say that another part of for the no dignity, when I realized I was going upside down, I threw up and then fell with my own.
Oh
throw up,
god.
just kind
Oh
of
god.
watching.
So gross.
And it's like the same speed, so like
Yeah.
it's not hitting you, but if you stop, it'll like
Yeah. What did I eat?
or it's like right before you get to where Sam is, so some of it just like
Yeah. So you're hanging like near the surface.
Yeah, I didn't get very
You
far.
did not get far at all. You're probably
I'm probably close to the awning at this point.
you're 30 feet down about. You're like
How tall is this building?
it's probably a 5-story building hanging upside down.
Covered
Where's
in
that
puke
come up
hanging
to
from a
feet?
tentacle.
50 about. You're about 50 feet down. You're at almost at the bottom. This is where
With a sex swing
Cordelia
tangled around
also
one of my
is.
lid.
Yeah,
Legs.
that's already undignified. We'll try to keep that out of your obit, but we can't make any promises.
And you guys are just standing in this abyss. I think Azure is pretty ecstatic.
Azure, read the room.
And she's like, did you find the Underfen already?
I mean, we didn't find it. It just kind of happened. Is this where you're from?
Sort of. I have lived here before. This was the fungal district.
What happened to it?
We abandoned it. We moved to the lattice.
Where's the lattice?
She points toward the storm spire, which is sort of straight ahead underground. You realize that you can see from here, which is, I mean, you're still several blocks away from the storm spire. You can see that storm spire continues underground.
Ooh.
Wait, this might be too late, but I wanna try something.
Huh?
So, does Nedezhda get within close range of Sam as she's falling?
I think you pass, yeah, within close.
So, what I want to do is basically tie one end of a rope to my gauntlet, and then use my ability that lets me shoot out my gauntlet and shoot it at Nedezhda so she can try to grab it and be pulled onto the rope.
Okay. So wait, Nedezhda is. Let's resolve that in a minute.
Okay.
Let's get back to here. So yeah, she's pointing out into like the dark ahead. And you can see that the storm spire itself is present in this cavern underground.
Do we have to go to the bottom of the spire?
The lattice is below the surface, but it is on the surface. I know, it's...
Are we in the lattice now?
No, this is just the underfen. Make an instinct check. Not great.
10 with hope?
10 with hope. So you're like, you squint real hard. You're like, okay, I believe you. You don't see anything.
Very chivalry action.
Yeah. You guys hear Cordelia from way below. She's like, I don't know how to get out of here. I'm kind of stuck.
You're like the least screwed. You're the second least screwed out of us right now. So
I can't
we'll help
see
you in a second.
I cannot see anybody else from where I am. That's all. Just a comment. Yeah.
Okay, so one other thing with this.
Uh-huh.
Technically, using this power is making an attack on an adversary. So it's up to you whether I actually have to attack.
You'll definitely have to. So you can attack at Nedezhda, or Nedezhda can choose to fail, basically fail an attack roll or fail a defensive roll.
But you will do damage?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. But I'm hanging from a tube. What is the tube connected to?
Oh, these things are they just move through the space. They don't seem to be attached.
So I'm on a floating tube, floating tentacle.
Something like
okay. I'm gonna try to maneuver it.
that. Give me a presence roll.
Haven't I rolled enough? Okay.
I mean, statistically, eventually you have to start rolling better.
10.
You got no clue what's happening. You are at a loss. You don't. This thing is rock solid, but it definitely just reached out and grabbed you. It is not attached to anything, but you cannot make it move.
And it's like a tube.
Mm-hmm.
Am I miming it to the
Yep.
approximate girth?
Approximately. I mean, there are different. There really are like there are larger, like tree trunk sized like branches, like down to like finger width branches. They vary pretty widely, though most of them. There are numerically more of the narrow ones than the wide ones.
But wait, are you still falling at this point?
No, I'm just kind of hanging on to.
You're
Okay.
being held like imagine like a bean sprout tendril.
Kind of wrapped around my arm or something.
Yeah, around your chest, like holding you.
Okay.
And like
I am all right for now.
height-wise compared to Sam, where is Nedezhda?
Oh, I thought you meant like is Nedezhda taller than Sam? I was like, what? That's a weird question. No, it's below.
Arcane sense.
About 20 feet.
Is it magic?
Down from you. Do an arcane sense for me.
It's just something I have. It's a feature.
You have literally never in your life experienced anything more magical. You touch it, and it makes you feel uncomfortable because it feels like you're touching a power line, but that power is ecstatic. And you instantly know what this is. This is a ley line conduit.
Uh-huh. All right. And it is so it's just hanging in space, like there's nothing around it. It is a tube hanging in
you
space.
can't. This is a confusing sort of
Or
darkly lit
does the
cavern.
tube just kind of go off into the darkness?
It just goes off. Yeah, it just goes off into the darkness.
Okay.
Do you want me to throw you a rope?
I am all right for now. Maybe a little later.
The amount of potential that you feel when you touch this thing is like truly overwhelming. You feel like you are you will never live up to your parents' expectations. That's how you interpret this, I think.
Not getting anywhere near that thing.
That's the discomfort that you feel. Like it's overwhelming. It's intense.
All right.
You see Azure loves it.
Hmm.
Azure's so happy.
I feel like maybe we should check in Shibboleth.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, is everybody alive?
We're like really good, actually.
Do you want to try to figure out how to get down here, I guess?
Yeah, should I make another agility roll to continue down?
Yep.
I can do math. 19
19 with hope or fear?
with hope.
With hope. So yeah, you are able to you find like a pretty direct like path down these tubes to get to the entrance, the upside down entrance to this building that Sam is standing in.
Okay. I know what to do. I got a rope and a sex swing tangled around my leg. I'm gonna pull that up.
I love that country song.
And a whip
She took my rope
attached to
and sex swing.
And I can spend a hope to conjure a midnight spirit.
Oh.
Ooh.
And I give the rope to the midnight spirit, which has no corporeal form.
Yep.
You can just kind of, and I ask it to essentially lay rope along this until it gets to Sam and Shibble.
Yep, that it just happens. The spirit seems
Okay, and I'm gonna give it. Let's see, do I have a flashlight? Do I have anything that makes light? Gun, automatic gun.
I mean, I guess technically a gun makes light when you
I
fire
mean,
it.
our talk rocks.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna engage the flashlight feature of the talk rock, tuck it into the midnight spirit's hand, and just watch to see how much it can illuminate as it goes to the.
So I think
Also, I think I got us mining helmets
did you? That's so funny.
when I was buying climbing supplies.
That makes sense. So I think your spirit is sort of a little bit illuminated already. It gives off a little bit of light. So it's not the best light or anything, but you can see like there is ambient light. It's red, very like rich red, which is to say a not very bright red, but it's very evenly dispersed. And you don't have too much trouble figuring out where this creature is heading or entity is heading. You do see that the rope is carried sort of up one of these paths up to like a couple floors to where Sam his head is sticking out like on the inverse floor roof.
Are there windows?
Yeah, there's like open arches that have these awning things where people obviously would sort of land.
But there's not like you couldn't go inside this thing.
You are inside.
I'm inside the building? I thought I was outside the building.
You're inside the building.
Oh.
You're like, give me the book actually, I can draw it for you.
Oh, yeah. What I pictured was like netting on the outside part of the building.
So the netting, you climbed down the netting.
Okay.
And then you dropped onto like an overhang. So do like.
Oh, so I'm like kind of on like a balcony or something?
Yeah.
But that's basically at the top of the building, or is there more building underneath me?
So you're basically like you're inside this space. So this is like a ledge.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you landed on. It keeps going. It's more narrow as you go down.
Does it go all the way into the interior of the building?
There is passage in here. There are stairs that go up.
Oh.
Okay.
Up and down.
Okay,
That's
so
okay.
I will, I guess, join Sam and Shibble there. And
Okay.
do we sense that Cordelia has like landed on sort of a thing below in the building that Sam's on?
No, it's a different building.
Oh, it's
It's across the like so it's basically like two ledges. This building
You
hangs
just
off of
said
this ledge,
30
and this is about 30 feet away. Yeah.
But you could probably
It's about-
do the same trick, send your
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
guy over.
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, you're able to like create a little rope ladder for Cordelia to cross. Which we'll count this as like a help action kind of. And I'll just do this as like an advantage roll. It's weird to roll this as with not a d20. Should I roll with a d20? Because I'm playing in PC. Do d12. Give me hello self. Give self d12, please. Thank you. I'm gonna do 3 finesse checks. That's a 20 with fear. The first check, Cordelia makes it. She's crossing a much more open area where like there isn't as much to hold on to. Like she's crossing between sides of this cavern. You guys have mostly been like along the edges of the walls of the cavern, and when she makes that first check after you like bring rope over to her, she loses her grip for a second because the rope gives way. But she holds on. So she's basically monkey barsing across the cavern. Oh, that's very bad.
No.
How bad.
Well,
You're killing Libby's character while she's not here.
it has been lovely.
Okay, how bad?
A 3 with fear,
What was the DC?
16. No, I'm trying to think of visually how this would work, like physics wise. So I think what happens here is the second loop that the spirit tied of the rope also comes loose, but this time she can't stop herself from, like, she doesn't let go of the rope. Instead, the rope just like careens like a rope swing, like just
But
right
towards the
into the
building, at
wall.
least.
Yeah,
So
just
that's
right
fine.
into the wall across the way. So I'm gonna say
Across the way or
so
under
where
us?
you guys are underneath you. But like she's like in the middle and she's like climbing from here to here, and it just like the momentum carries her forward. And I'm gonna do this is 2d8 damage.
Oh, can we
This is a
share?
d10. Why can't I find a d8? Here's a d8.
How close
3,
does she get? to
7,
us?
8, 9, 10. Sorry, 1 sec. 10 plus 3 is 13. 13 points of physical damage. As she slams into a wall and slides down the wall. She is unconscious on the other side. At this point.
Okay, but we can run down the.
But she's not dead.
She's not dead, but she's unconscious.
She's just downed.
Okay.
Okay, I do have to be able to see her. Can I see her?
Yeah, I think you can see her. You can see that she's like on a ledge that's hard to reach from you. Like about probably 8 feet below you, and like
I mean, can we go down the stairs?
so she's she hit the wall of the cabin.
Oh, she didn't hit the building.
No, she hit the
Okay.
wall of the cabin.
Okay, I can use my.
So you guys ran from like one side of that little pavilion to the other. You can see that she slid down a wall and it just is like resting on a little ledge.
How far
Unconscious.
from us is she?
Probably about. I'm not going to do Pythagorean theorem right now. It probably about 16 feet away.
So could we, like, basically climb down a rope to try to get to her, or
You could for sure.
For another 16 check, can I use my rune ward? I can reduce incoming damage by 1d8. And have to spend a hope.
For her.
Yeah.
Yes, you can, because you definitely see this like sort of impending event occur. So yeah, I'll let you do that.
So I
Oh, you roll. Yeah.
so I reduced it by 1.
She's still unconscious.
Okay.
Well, if you lower me
Awesome.
down there, I can heal her.
Yes, that looks like we're gonna do that.
But I'm down to my I have to touch to heal spells, so
Okay. So I am going to go ahead and really, really, really tie this rope around the friggin' balcony and hand Sam the rope.
Okay.
All right.
if I don't make it, it's been an honor. And he just jumps
If
off.
you're the-
I'll also hold the rope.
Okay.
Just to
We'll
be
add this
sure.
many dice of advantage then. The people holding the rope. You're gonna need to make a DC 16 finesse check with 2 advantages and 1 disadvantage.
Please make it.
Did I make an argument for strength?
Yeah, I think you can do that.
And I need to do 2 of them?
Yep.
With advantage.
Yep. 2 advantages.
Well, double advantage?
Double
or you mean-
advantage.
well, okay.
On a disadvantage.
And a disadvantage.
So 1 advantage.
No, this is a
okay.
cumulative value.
2 pluses and a minus.
Yep.
Okay.
This is my homebrew rule, and this is where it gets ridiculous.
This is the disadvantage.
Okay.
There's so much math. Okay. That's not very good.
Oh my god. I've never seen you make that face.
You did this.
I did not.
That's not
I
not
did.
bad.
That's not true. I definitely did this.
15. But I can increase it
Okay.
potentially.
Well, the
We
DC
said
16.
DC 16?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh God!
You find yourself almost immediately following the exact same course of action that you saw Cordelia do, and but you're at the last second. You're like, if I push back with like bent knees, I can like if I let my legs go loose, I can like.
He's just like praying to every god. He's like, Rasmodius, Vexen God, whatever. Somebody help.
That thing at Visage and Codex.
Yeah.
This is your head, right?
What?
Jehoover?
Jehoover, yeah.
Jehoover.
Yeah, but I just think
Jehoover.
that thing.
Save me, Jehoover.
Do you want to do that?
No. I
Okay.
mean, I because mechanically, I also don't have to. I mean, like,
No. I just if you did.
I think I'm making a little bit of a joke. I think I do pray to Rasmodius.
Okay. Yeah. So you are able to cushion the landing, and slide down the wall a little bit to this ledge. It is a very narrow ledge. But she's there, sort of laid kind of ragdolled.
Okay, I'll use a sparing touch to clear 2 hit points.
Okay. So you revive her. She.
You're welcome, Libby.
She's not watching right now. She's like, she left a little while ago. Take good care of her. She says, yeah, exactly. I, the DM, am desperately trying not to kill my player's character when my player especially isn't here. So you wake her up and she is.
Like how Libby was like, oh, maybe my character can have to go to work or something. And we're like, no, we'll just keep them in the adventure.
She's repelling now. She's good at that, right? Yeah. The shock of the healing sort of forces her eyes open. She's oh, okay.
It's okay. I got you.
Thank you. I hit the wall.
Yeah, it was. You Tarzan it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Okay.
Or, sorry, you George of the Jungle did.
Okay. I Bobo'd it.
Yeah.
Dr. Bobo.
She did a Bobo.
She did it to Bobo.
Dr. Bobo does not know that I'm the one who started that phrase. He would not be happy if he knew that.
You
Because
guys,
that's Oh, they're very much widespread at this point.
You can see from where you're currently located, there are more buildings under like more of the cave as it sort of like the walls sort of give out, like or like push out as it goes down. There's like a small village here.
Is it
Seems like it's more like a small
populated?
village.
You don't see anybody.
And so, I think we should try to see what's inside this thing.
Inside the building?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we gotta climb back up first.
Yeah, you guys climb back up. I'm not gonna make you make a check for that. You guys
I
climb up.
like how it's either 0 checks or 3 checks.
Well, so I feel like you make a couple, and like the consequences of that determine like you're gonna survive, and then I'm not gonna force you to make another one after you've survived already. So I feel bad about that, but I'll say that when Cordelia gets back up top, she's gonna say, "I am not going with you. I'm going to rest here."
I mean, that's fair.
So she is gonna hole up.
Awesome. I leave her a bottle of vodka.
She drinks it like water.
That was maybe not a good idea.
Azure's like talking a lot, like chattering
Yeah?
a lot.
What's she saying?
It's like when somebody goes home for the first time in a really long time, like wherever they grew up or something, they're just like, oh yeah, and this, but it's like a more intense version of that, because she's like, she in this incarnation of this form has never seen this place. So it's like a bigger leap to make between not remembering and remembering. It's like she's getting memories from other consciousness or something. But she's just like, whoa, that's so cool. I haven't seen this in forever.
What's gonna happen when we get to the spire?
We're gonna go into the lattice.
What do we do there?
Then you get to meet my family. But we have to bring them the clock.
Clock.
Yeah.
What clock?
It's here. It's here in the Underfen. We have to get it. Take it back to them.
Okay.
Somebody left it here.
Do you know where?
No.
How are we supposed to find it?
We just have to. It's here somewhere. It's guarded by one of those undead ones.
You couldn't have told us this before.
She kind of did.
By undead, do you mean like another like hive mind golem creature?
Yeah.
Oh.
Or like Cordelia.
Cordelia just throws a rock at you. She just like grabs a rock, eyes closed, and chucks it at the wall.
Well, the last time there was a golem, you could hear it, right?
Yeah.
Can you hear the one that's guarding?
It's not awake yet.
Let's keep it that way.
I think we can.
Do you know what is making these earthquakes?
No. I don't know.
Because your village is going up into ours and killing a lot of people.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of deserve it.
Disagree.
This village is from before. It looks like somebody's pushing, or something's pushing.
Something
a
below
question.
this is pushing.
It looks like that.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Architecturally, are these very different or similar?
Yeah, they're very different. They look like plaster buildings. Like almost like Adobe. Adobe and plaster. Like they are plain, white, square. The one you're standing on, please.
Well, like their kind of general shape is still skyscrapery.
No, it's more like a villa.
Like how tall are they?
They are tall. They're like 5 or 6 stories.
That's
Sometimes.
what I mean. I mean, like skyscraper, like a big, like square, like something
Yeah,
that's
kind
much
of.
taller than
But
it
it's
is.
more like there's like a villa shape,
Mhm.
and like that goes up, and then there's like another square. Like each corner produces like another square, and then each corner, it sort of like branches out and down, like a almost like a bird cage, where if you had a bird cage, it like hung more bird cages on it, and then more bird cages on that. But like as a square bird cage, not like
You might have to do a drawing of this.
Like a
it's-
swallow's nest
yeah, like a swallow's nest.
or a hornet's
Yeah,
nest almost.
yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
that's encouraging.
It's more organic looking.
Yeah, I want to go inside. What does that place look like inside?
Bare, empty, not much to see.
Is it visibly upside down? Like, I mean, I feel like,
You being in the room, it's not upside down. The room is not upside down.
but I mean, I feel like if you took a room, right, and you flipped it upside down, you would be able to see like this looks like ceiling that I'm standing on.
It doesn't look like that.
Okay,
It looks like the building was just built hanging, not
okay.
not.
That's what I want.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the building is itself upside down. It just looks like it's built to in this sort of organic form. It kind of hangs.
Does it look ransacked, burned?
No, none of the above. It looks like somebody packed up and left.
Right.
Did they leave anything behind?
There's some stuff around. There's a toy here or there.
Like furniture? I mean, I'm trying to think of things that would be
yeah,
too big to move.
there's probably some furniture. The Fun Girl don't. I mean, I think Azure would tell you, guys, they didn't really use that much furniture. They're more comfortable sleeping on the floor and sitting on the floor. There are some tables. They live a life that is more close to nature, quote unquote. These buildings are they're organic looking, but they're definitely like made. So it's like, where's that threshold? It's not like an either or proposition. They are making stuff, they're changing the environment, whatever.
Right.
It's just it's a different way of understanding the world than anything in Vescarre. Like, very clearly.
Right. Well,
And also, I'll say this, from where you are, you see that there are buildings that are not upside down. Some buildings come up.
so then it seems like there is some sort of floor of some kind.
They're coming out of the wall. They're like,
Oh, they're sideways.
They're like- no, they're like-
they're like
yeah, exactly. They're like where Cordelia was laying, but a big version of that, like a shelf, and like a building is built up along the wall there. It just seems to be whatever was available. They used that space.
well, gotta go down to go up.
I guess.
We need to go down the stairs as far as I can go.
So this building comes to a point where it stops. Like, you cannot go down any further. But there are stairs that lead between buildings there.
Oh,
Kind of looks like MC Escher-y.
yeah, okay, I can picture that.
You guys take the stairs. The next building you walk to, it is... Cordelia's like, be safe. I'm going to be right here. I'm not moving.
Do we see any, like, writing of any kind?
Yeah, there's writing, for sure. It just looks like regular writing.
But, I mean, presumably not a language that we...
No, it is.
Oh. Well, what language is it?
That's whatever people speak there. And along.
Is it like street signs or?
It's like like a to-do list, or like a sign on the ground that like...
Asher, is this like the language you would use? Because like it doesn't make sense to me that it's like from before, but it's the language of the people who came here. You know what I mean?
My people aren't from here.
Wait, when did you build all this?
When your people built that.
Did all of you live down here, or did some of you live up
No,
there?
no.
and-
Some of us were up high,
Why did you come here?
like you. We wanted a better life.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I don't hold you personally responsible. She dances away. There's a rave going on in her head all the time.
What is?
I wonder if it was known at the time that this was going on. Like, did people know when this was being built that this existed? I know we don't have any way to answer that.
I mean, I think that
wondering.
Azure would know a little bit. I think
Yeah.
she would say, they never seemed interested.
Was
That's-
there ever people down here?
Sometimes.
Was this like a?
Sometimes.
Is it
Like Chinatown, like
Yeah.
where a certain population lived, and they kind of make buildings
I
that
think
more
that's
appeal
a
to their
very,
sensibilities.
very good approximation.
So people would come down here for like the fungal food, but then like
I mean, like, I think she tells you, like, sometimes people would marry non-fungal, or so there were fungals on the surface, and there were non-fungal people down here. So it was mostly fungal.
do you know when they left?
When we all had to leave. When
But like, do you know? I
When-
know time is a little bit weird for you, but do you know how long ago that was?
the Iron Ward.
Interesting.
you all had
So
to
it's
leave?
all Libby's fault.
You all had to leave
Yeah. We
because
had to
people
hide.
came here. People were hunting you.
Did people blame you for the Iron Horde
No.
situation?
It was before what happened to her is us. We were a source of power for them. So we did the only thing we could do. We took ourselves away.
A timeline question.
Yeah.
So I think we probably have a pretty good idea of when like the original Project World Mind took place, right? Like, where does that compare to the Iron Ward disaster?
Iron Ward was way before that.
Okay.
Way before that. I don't know the specific number. I'd have to look at the my earlier notes on this, but like, it was decades.
Because, like, I think maybe what we thought is that they were, like, experimenting on fungrels in some way, but it seems like most of them left before that happened.
I think you look around. This is not a metropolis. This is a neighborhood.
Mm.
It's smaller than that even. This is a community. This is one community that left. You've seen another community that didn't have the chance to leave.
In the Iron Ward.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know where they went?
They went to the lattice.
Okay.
They hid because nobody ever remembers.
We always forget about the storm spire.
We did that.
Oh.
Who is they?
The people that wanted to use us.
Did they have a company? Or did
It
you
was
not know?
all of the companies.
All right.
But that would have been way before Project World Mind.
Yeah, the timelines are weird.
Okay.
I mean, it's also really interesting to me that, like, with the research that Shibble did, it seemed like there was a more recent effort to erase the idea of fungrels that had happened in the past few years, and it's interesting to me that that happened now.
That what happened?
That it seemed like the effort to scrub the idea of fungrels from everything seemed more recent.
I mean, I think it's
Because
I would-
it seemed like it was like, oh, there's these scientific papers from, you know, at least the past decade or whatever, that are now gone.
I think if you look into this, I think I'm not going to make you roll on this. What you see is a slow but steady progression toward annihilation.
Mm.
And as like a community packs up to leave, it does so because another community was targeted or something.
And I mean, I guess it makes sense that like the less they're in living memory, the more you can erase them. Because if everybody remembers fungrels being around, you can't just get rid of all of it without it being like,
Right.
a little bit more suspicious.
You can just be like, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Am I still blue?
Yep.
Do I still have...
A crown. Yeah, I think so.
Can I feel anything with them?
Make an instinct check.
Sam just feels a gross thing on the back of his head.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a 23 with fear.
Yeah, you do.
What
you
do I feel?
feel memories like ghosts.
Oh.
You touch like a wall, and it almost like triggers like a chemical receptor. You watch in these memories events occurring. These fungrels, sometimes they turn into animals. Sometimes they get really big. None of it really makes a ton of sense to you. But it's scary. It's very scary.
So, how many buildings total have we seen? You said it's a fairly small like community.
Yeah, you've seen like 4 buildings total at this point.
Okay.
And there's maybe 2 or 3 more. They're
Oh.
sort of like staggered along the edge.
Yeah, and so potentially we could start searching through these buildings, and it wouldn't be like an overwhelming amount of space.
There's clearly like a path to walk here. You
Okay.
can move through the space. It's not complicated. It's straightforward. In fact, I think you realize that these upside down pavilions are basically public squares. They are not private homes. The ones that are right side up, those are private homes.
In pairing mode.
Oh, okay.
To pair, search for the Vizio soundbar in the Bluetooth settings on your device.
Okay.
Guys, we have to find the Vizio sound and bring it to the lattice.
Can I feel the
girl.
Vizio soundbar in my menticles?
No, you have no memory. No hallucinatory memory of a Vizio soundbar.
Can I...
You can pair with it though.
Can I... like... scan through the memories and try to figure out what this clock is?
I think you can try. Give me this. This is perceiving, so give me an instinct roll. You give yourself an advantage dice.
And an
Die.
advantage. Ooh. Oh, thank God for the advantage. Okay, so 18 plus 1, so 19 with fear.
19 with fear. On a 19 with fear, you remember. You can kind of see, like, it's almost like Azure's directing a thought to you or something. That a mass of collected beings set themselves up in defense of something hidden behind a door.
What's, sorry, go ahead.
That's what you see.
What's the range on your arcane sense?
I think it has to be close. And I'm picking up a lot of ley lines. I'm going to... Asher, do you know of anything that is happening in the lattice? Are people coming and going through it?
Only me. They all stay.
Not?
I think you get this. There's a sense of question and wonder here. They don't remember leaving the lattice.
No, I mean, can you tell that I talk different from Sam and Shibble?
No.
All right. So you would not know whether someone who talks the way I do went through the storm spider and went somewhere else.
You non-mongrels do that in.
No, we have to stay secret, or else they'll come for us again.
But
They're waking up. And if they join the lattice, we all die.
Mongrels?
The undead ones.
all right. Well, we can't let that happen, I suppose.
I guess we can just start searching through these buildings.
Yeah.
You're not going to find anything in these specific buildings. I think what you do see is that you can go further down. Also, I'm going to say anybody who wants to do this can make an instinct or knowledge roll. If you roll knowledge, you get an advantage dice.
To do what?
That's what I said. This is going to have a higher DC.
Can I use Even the Gods Are Afraid?
I don't think you could use that.
I didn't really know.
Is it
if I can
DC
use an
20?
experience because I don't know what it is,
Oh.
but
It's a 20.
I'll try
yeah,
for
that
knowledge. Crit.
Crit.
all of a sudden Shibble's like, oh, I know about this, and just goes in this complicated.
Just blame it on the mentacle. Shibble is not smart suddenly. I just have access to so many minds greater than my own.
I think, Shibble, you touch one of the ley line conduits. They're not the ley lines themselves. The ley lines are like the power flow. The conduit is the thing it flows through. You touch with your mentacle one of these ley line conduits.
I'm so glad that we managed to get mentacles back in.
I had to find a way. Also, I'll have you know that was literally on a D100 table, and you did get that. So it was like you get a crown of like waving like arms or something over your head, and I was like, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So
The dice tell the story.
the dice do
I
tell the
really want
story.
to know what else is on that table.
There was a lot of them, and they weren't great.
And of course, of anyone, Shibble would drink the fetid
Yeah.
river water and come up with something good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is exactly what happened the first time
Yeah.
I got mentacle.
Yeah. Remember the first time I had mentacle? So I think
That
here
was
what
before we had the show.
that was, yes. Mentacles 1.0.
It's gotta be like almost a whole year ago now.
It was
right?
it was May of last year. Yeah.
Was it really that late?
Yeah, because we started the show in July. No, it was February. It was February of last year.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that sounds
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
That we moved from the shop to upstairs in May. But your mentacles just happen to brush one of the ley line conduits as you're sort of perceiving this historical information. And you are suddenly intensely aware of the fact that all of the ley line conduits face the direction of the storm spire. And that when that happens, you like see it, like you see the map of the conduits in your head. And you can see in this map of conduits a place where there's a shape cut out of the conduits. Like it's just absent, lacuna. And it looks familiar, like something hidden behind a door.
Guys, I think I know where we need to go.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you point to it?
All right. Why don't you lead the way?
Wait. Can we try as hard as we can to not wake up another sleeping murder? Undead murder.
We'll do
golem?
our best. but I can't make any promises.
What can we do? What can we do? Wait, magic. Counterspell, and I haven't used it even friggin' once. Okay.
Should we rest before we go?
At least a short rest is probably a good idea.
Yes. Okay.
I mean, it's got to be like the middle of the night now, right?
Yeah. All right.
A short rest is what, like an hour?
I'm spreading a fear here. You guys.
Cannot rest.
No. As you are sort of considering this and talking and exploring, I just dropped some dice. Don't worry about it. It's fine. You feel the cavern shake.
Oh.
As some rocks shake loose and sort of
Right.
fall down
Rocks
overhead.
fall, everybody dies.
We may not have time to rest.
I think Azure is going to suggest that we
Besides,
have.
if we carry on, we leave Cordelia behind.
There is that too.
Because Cordelia is resting.
I mean, can we have Cordelia come sort of with us? Like, not like. I mean, like, maybe like, can you go near where we're going and then rest?
She's already resting.
Okay.
at this point.
I guess we. So Azure is going to suggest that we rest.
I think Azure's going to be like, this is big and scary, and if we lose, it's bad.
All right.
Short rest?
I guess we are. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we might as well go back to where Cordelia is.
Let's see.
I'm
Yeah,
going
a signal.
to.
There we go. Memory
Let's
card.
see.
Automatic. It'll go in. So. Did I knock it?
I think so, but that's okay.
But yeah, I was looking at the camera. What happened? What did we decide?
I think we're going to do a short rest. We're going back to where Cordelia is.
At least a
short
short
rest.
rest.
I think. Well, it's 10 o'clock, so I'm gonna call
Okay.
it there. If that's okay with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
All right. Time to fight the undead.
Well, we already stressed one of them to death.
Yeah.
We can do it again.
Yeah.
I think as you're climbing back up to where Cordelia is, your hand brushes another one of these conduits, and you like turn your head to look at it, and you see a fucking moose.
You don't exist.
It blinks out of existence.
Exactly right. Right. Well, back to rest with my friends.
You hear a ghostly moo.
Here,
Yeah.
after.
And then that's the end of the episode. We'll call it there.
Wow.
All right.
All right.
So stick around. We have No But Humans coming up the after show. Yeah, we'll decompress and talk about this session. Hello and welcome back to No But Humans. Today we're all humans, and we're going to talk about normal things. So
what happens when you're like, hey, let's spice up this little transitional space where we go into this mushroom town by just having people roll a dexterity check or two and everyone fails?
it's called a catastrophic collapse. And I accidentally kill one of my player's characters, who in this particular case happens to not even be present at the moment. I did my best.
We fixed it.
We did in the end.
And it was a truly unfortunate set of rolls.
Yeah,
I mean, the
it
number
was.
of us who got advantage and still failed by like
8.
When, like, the entire time I was like, I can increase any of these rolls by 6, and it never mattered, and I never used it.
I think you rolled it with double advantage and a disadvantage once, and
Yeah.
it still came out like
One short, I think.
one short. Yeah.
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 And meanwhile, I gave Cordelia a double crit, which I can't even. Like, I sincerely almost feel bad about that.
I think we both crit on a check too.
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't end up attacking you with a fist in order to get you a rope, but
yeah,
I only was going to do that when I thought you were actively falling.
yeah.
The visual of you just being like, just fucking yeet, like you just fall and like the rope's like, it's like is very funny to me. It was a very good moment to see Nedezhda's face, like nonplussed face, just whiz by, just like fuck.
I like that two of us basically George in the jungle into a building.
Yeah.
Just again and again.
Yeah, I rolled so poorly for that.
Is there just like
It
a
was a 3.
sex swing hanging over the abyss now?
In my mind, you are wearing it as a harness to like attach yourself to things.
Yeah.
Well, and also is Katarina going to be mad that now there's no sex swing anymore?
She has extras.
Yeah.
I love
The
that.
emergency kit in the
Yeah.
trunk.
We were
that-
all happy she came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
And
was-
also we're happy that it doesn't seem like we're going to get killed by the mob.
Yeah.
Gave them back the car, mostly intact.
Well, they got back the car. Yeah.
She, I think you crit on that presence roll when you met her. There was a very high roll or something, and she was just like very impressed with you.
No, in fact, what I did was I got the lowest possible roll and fell on my face.
Oh, that's
and she
right.
found me so amusing.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, she
You
thought
failed so hard it flipped back around to success.
Yes. Which was brilliant DMing. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm like,
you were
well,
trying to like impress her, but
It's the
instead
ultimate
like
fail forward.
yeah, she was just like, "Oh, you're ridiculous. This is hilarious."
Yeah.
And she was right.
Yeah.
That was not an isolated.
Yeah, she is a decent judge of character, I feel like. So, yeah. Did this go the way you guys thought?
Nothing goes the way we think it's gonna go.
Everybody looked at me like I was crazy when I said that.
we're like, we're gonna find
All
a
right.
race.
Who
We're
had
gonna find out
Underground
what
City in
happened."
the.
What
It's
do
like,
you think
yeah.
the earthquakes did? They revealed the underground city where the secret sleeping undead people are.
The cool
But
city.
why did the helicopter fall out of the sky? I mean, why did the helicopter fall out of the sky?
The trick is you don't want to be too high or too low. You just got to stay in the middle, and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
The helicopter fell out of the sky because the magic got broken.
Oh.
And we also still don't know who the second helicopter belonged to.
We just know that it wasn't anybody particularly important to Cordelia.
We know nothing.
What do you guys want to know?
I want to understand more about what happened to the phone. I have
That's
pieces of it.
a mystery to,
No,
to
I
unravel.
know,
Yeah.
I know that. I mean,
Yeah.
How can I grow my mentacle powers?
We'll have to homebrew something. Homebrew mentacles going up
I
live
remember-
on a.
How it happened the first time is every time I failed a saving roll, because you just intermittently had me roll saving
Yeah,
throws.
yeah,
Every time I failed, something weird would happen to me.
yeah. I have a really strong love of random roll tables,
yeah.
and like random roll effects. And one of the things I love the most about Daggerheart's environment, one of the things I love most about Daggerheart are the environment stat blocks, which allow me to incorporate those kinds of things into like smaller scale.
It's interesting
things.
because I feel like I've struggled when I DM'd Daggerheart in using environments and feeling like I'm comfortable with them. Like I feel like I've had trouble figuring out how to use them.
I would recommend watching Mike Underwood's videos on it. They have some. Do you know who they are?
I think so.
They're like one of the writers. They wrote Marauders of.
Because I feel like
Windfall?
there's maybe part of the problem for me is there's not enough examples of them. Like there's not that many in the book, so it's harder to feel out what you're supposed to do with them. Especially because like the social ones are so different.
Oh,
from
the social
other
ones are very
So then
different,
it's
yeah.
like, okay, well now I have an even smaller pool of examples of how to use this.
I basically have I use for environments for each of the neighborhoods, for each of the boroughs, I have a standard environment block that has some basic stuff. And then every time I go to like a specific neighborhood, if we've named the neighborhood, I have a stat block for there. The Prometheum has the biggest stat block, I think, of the whole set of things, of like environmental stat blocks. It's several pages, which it doesn't need to be. It just is that because it's absurdly long. It's absurdly tall. Like there's so much stuff that can happen there. I can see how that's.
I mean, I guess the other thing for me is like, obviously, like, the style of games that you've run is prepared, and mine is a much more out of my ass. Like mine is much more like I don't know, like it's improvisational. I don't know what environments are gonna show up. So like for me, it's like, you know, how do I create these things on the fly because I have no idea where anybody's gonna go with anything.
I would say that my style of games is not planned. It's
But you
deeply
created a lot of
improvisational.
environments.
That was my world building, was like
Yeah.
a lot of that's one of the reasons I built the world this way, and like at all, is because I was like, this is a tool I have. The environment is a tool to establish a setting, those things. I lose those things a lot. Like I lose track of them, but like I really like the function of giving a space you're in a special like ability or like push or effect,
Yeah.
or something that like that can keep you guys moving through the space or like experiencing a thing. I think that like that's the way that I improvise a lot. So like I just create like a space, like a slate space, where I'm like, this does this. If they're in a good mood when they get here, you know, do this type of thing, give them some sort of benefit or boon. If things are rough when they get here, make it dangerous or sad or scary.
You know what I want to know?
What?
How far down does this thing go?
The ground? You
Yeah,
mean,
like
the
is
cave?
there like a bottom?
Yeah, probably. I assume. I assume. I assume.
I mean, I know we don't know, but it's just something I'm curious about. Is like, you know, is that how you get to Vex? You just go through the entire Earth?
It's the new trade route.
Yeah.
There is a like this. You're not wrong. There's something to be said for trade between Vescarre and Vex is very difficult. It's easy. It's relatively simple to get stuff from Vex to Vescarre, but it's hard to get things back. So the fact that this guy is present at all indicates that there's some difference here, because he's able to go back and forth.
Because if I remember correctly, there's not like a lot of transit in the western part of the ocean.
No, there isn't.
And given where Vex is, given that it's on the eastern edge of the old world, since you can't just go across the ocean that's between them, you have to go the long way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very time consuming, very resource intensive. It's not easy. It's a hard trip to make that all the Vexen immigrants have personally like experienced.
Like, is there like a known reason why people don't go east to Vescar?
No.
Like, is it like, oh, you can't go through that ocean? Nobody ever comes back.
There is a particularly weather dangerous, like a tempestuous area. But it's people just don't go there. It's like you'll see.
I mean, I guess like the other factor is
You'll
like,
see. That's what I'm saying.
because Vescar, the city, is on the western part. If you came from the east, then you would have to also transit across the continent to get to
Yeah,
the city.
you definitely do. Yeah. It's
Still, though, it seems like people would try. I just feel like I'm like real world analogs, right? Like it's incredibly dangerous to go under South America, but people did it when they had to.
yeah. But then they literally built a path between, like across
Yeah.
instead of going around.
But I just mean like they didn't go the other way. Like they were like, I'm gonna keep going through this dangerous way, even though it's dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Because it was the only way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could have gone the opposite direction. It just would have taken forever.
Oh yeah, I guess that's fair. Yeah.
That's
because of the currents and stuff.
But that's the analogy, right? Is like instead of going under South America, I'm going to go under Africa and through the Indian Ocean and through the Pacific Ocean.
It's that would be if you went that way to get from Vex to Vescarre, you would be almost certainly consumed in like typhoons, especially in the northern hemisphere.
So it would be like more dangerous than any real world analog.
Much more.
Okay.
Much more. It'd be like there's a part of like off the northeastern coast of Vex that is almost like the red was it the red dot on Jupiter?
Like a big storm.
Like a giant
just like a perma hurricane.
ever storm, yeah.
Wow.
Like it's off the northeast coast. And it kind of like absorbs like the activity, like the sort of, not to get too like in the fucking weeds about it, the atmospheric energy of like of the area, which is why like Vex is so cold, partially.
It's also pretty far north, right?
It is, yeah. But like on top of that, like it's just there's a constant everstorm over there. What? I feel like
You're like, what would you like to know? I'm thinking. Okay.
But like people have made it. It's just most people don't, right? Like it's not like nobody's ever succeeded in going that way, right? Or has nobody ever succeeded in going through that ocean on the eastern
I
side?
don't think anybody's ever succeeded at it because I think that like it's almost beyond the pale to even try. Like,
But
It
I
would
mean,
be like flying directly over Antarctica to go
yeah, kind
from
of.
one, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just feel like I'm like, okay, but
Imagine
if
if
that
Antarctica
exists-
plus a hurricane.
if that existed in our world, you would still have people every 50 years or so die trying to.
Yeah,
do it.
that probably does happen. People probably do die trying it. Like inevitably, you're gonna find people doing that, but like it's unlikely that people get through. And I don't think anybody. I think we'll
Is it
just say
unlikely or impossible?
It's
as far as
it's not impossible.
but nobody's ever done.
Not that you're aware
Okay.
of. And not that I've established.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know this is very specific.
No,
it's
a literal part of the world, like a physical location of the world that we haven't talked about very much. But I have things happening there at the moment.
like,
So,
do the Vexians have legends about what the hell is going on in this weird ocean that's next to them?
Probably.
I feel like they do.
They have legends about every other damn thing. Yeah. Let's see. What I would ask. I think what she's now most interested, the character,
Mhm.
is can she get, like, if there's a way through,
Mhm.
can she broker with, like, the Fungrels to find a way through? Is there a connection there? And if so, that makes a lot of things possible, including getting the hell away from the insane CEO who has something out for everyone, possibly being a traitor with a DER, not traitor.
Trader Joe's, but the kind that
Yeah,
where
I mean,
I
Just
You
getting
know.
properly authentic Vexen cooking.
Yeah, but this is like
like an eel through a wind tunnel.
These
Sorry.
are the days of our lives.
Yeah, these are the
but
days
she's
of
like,
Vex.
hey, I could live in an underground abandoned adobe place with my parents and my brothers, and we could trade back and forth, and like, can I hammer out a life here?
That
kind
seems
of
like
a
it's
thing.
free real estate.
So, and as a player, I would love to see if I could pull everyone into like Vex.
Like, so it seems like it wasn't like it was very deep before you got to these things, right?
Yeah, that's because it got pushed up.
Okay, so before that, if you had just dug a hole in the ground, you wouldn't have.
No. It's like a cavern system that is. I mean, there are caverns under us right now.
That makes sense.
Like-
Because I was like, if it's just below the street, how did nobody know about it?
Yeah, no. It's also they just didn't go there.
Well, I mean, like, a long time ago people knew about it, but like if it was in the state it is now, a lot of people would know about it because
Yeah.
it was like
No, it's
5 inches below the ground.
it's not inches. It's like I don't know how far away things are underground, but it's far enough away that it's not easy to get to. It just people found it and lived there because they could, because they're fungus people and it's underground.
Does this area have a sewer system?
Not in here, no.
Is it just chamber pots or like?
No.
I mean, like this part of the city, not the under part.
Oh yes, 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 it does.
So like, did this get pushed into that? Or...
Yeah, actually, basically, yeah.
Is that what those weird tubes are?
No, the tubes are the conduits.
But
They're-
like, did we see like a sewer layer or like?
You saw places where like sewer empties into the caverns.
Oh man, we
Basically.
just really keep shitting on the phone girls.
Literally,
And I imagine everyone's water pipes are broken at this point.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. It's a disaster right now. So,
But
congratulations.
we're not post-apocalypse yet.
You're mid-apocalypse.
Well,
It's the
now I
middle of
don't
it.
want to find the bottom because it's just a giant like shit pile.
It's maybe it's a lake or something. Who knows?
That's not better.
It's in my head the conduits look like the crystalline entity in Star Trek: The Next Generation, and I just can't get that
I
out of my
just
head.
pictured like Cordelia slams into a building, falls down unconscious, and then like the sewer just
Yeah, just a sluice gate opens and like she's just laying there like, huh? What? What was I gonna say? Oh, shout out to Eric for Courier because that was his idea and I love it.
Oh,
That was
that's
such a
Thank
good
you,
idea.
Eric.
That was such a good idea.
yeah. I could say this. The underground city is cool. It makes me think of. Did you ever play the game Outer Wilds?
I haven't. It's one of those
Oh,
like
it's
that's
so
like
good.
sitting on my list for
Yeah,
forever and ever.
and it's one of those ones where everyone's like, I can't give you any spoilers
Yeah.
because the entire thing is experiencing it.
Yeah.
But there's like a big like underground city built into the middle of a planet that
Oh,
feels very
interesting.
like this.
Interesting. Yeah. It's one of my friend Stadler, his favorite game I think
It's
of all
such a
time
good
is that
game.
game. I promise him literally for many years in a row that I'll play it in the following year, and I'm not good at games. Do you have any questions that you want to know?
I already asked how to grow my mentacles.
Let's find
said
out.
we're gonna
One,
figure it out.
Keep drinking river water.
3.
Yeah, we're gonna have to prevent Shibble from like sneaking down to the river.
I mean,
Sybil becomes a manatee.
I like that Shibble's entire character arc has basically been influenced by me saying, I bet you can't drink water from that dirty river. Like,
Actions
that's
have
like
consequences.
The sliding doors moment.
Yeah, it is. Actions have
Shibble
consequences.
being
Yeah.
bet that you can drink river water.
I wish you could see what Sybil looks like in my head.
and then I just ran straight into that sliding door and shattered it.
Yeah. Did you say door? Oh.
They're hiding something behind a door.
I don't mean to say door so often,
Like my
but when I do,
word.
I
Like,
always
I'm
do, and I look at you when I
super
say it
Asian, and I'm
every
like,
time. Yeah, this is your Manchurian candidate. It's behind the door.
The door lord is still out there.
For me, it's like if you like pinch a muscle in your side or something, you realize how often you use it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how often do we need to go through a door? And now every single time you say the word, we all kind of
Or something that could be eaten but shouldn't.
The thing is, it really would not have occurred to me to drink the river water.
That's very funny. Especially considering I was effectively saying how little like water it
As
was.
soon as I said it, I knew you were going to do it.
All right. Well, we will be back next week with the full cast, and yeah, that's it. We're in Vescarre for the next little while.
Libby,
So,
I can't
buckle
wait
up.
Yeah.
for you to find out how this went.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for playing. Everybody have a lovely weekend, and I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.